All right, traders, time to get you guys started in some live trading action. Time to get into it. Hit the like.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Those words have been dancing around my head all night. Oh, it's Vegas lore, that phrase.
All right, guys, I'm going to head on out of here, and I'll leave you guys with none other than Ryan Faloona and Zunaid. So you guys have a great one. I'll see you in a little bit.
Just to be sure, Mitch, you double-checked with your wife, and your doctor's appointment is today, correct?
I'm going to hope so, because if not, I'm going to end up at the doctor's office anyways. They're getting it done today no matter what, so you know how it goes.
Good stuff. All right, well, Zunaid and I will hold down the fort here. Are you ready, Zunaid, to hold the fort down?
Let's do it.
I hope your shoulders are wide today because it's just you and me. I'm going to go ahead and get started here with some of the stocks that I'm looking at. First one here that I want to mention is Biogen Iodec, right? This is ticker BIIB. Biogen shares are trading higher for the company, and SI company announced the top-line results from the large global phase 3 confirmatory Clarity AD clinical trial of one of their drugs. So this market is clearly reacting to this. We'll see what type of movement this has at the open. This might be one to play with options. These options are likely to be expensive, just FYI. So we'll kind of take a look at that. The one thing is that phase 3 can sometimes be sell the news. So one of the things I want to make sure is that this actually holds in and shows some more bullish upside here instead of just breaking down or retracing some of this move. So we're going to wait for the open here. This is an expensive stock. I'm not going to rush out to buy it. I definitely want to make sure that this finds its footing before we can trade it. Now, next year I have ABOS. This is Acumen Pharmaceuticals, and this company is moving up here this morning. We actually hit a high of 994 earlier this morning. Don't see a whole lot in here. We had this moved a little bit. This ticker sounds familiar. It was just this started to move in the after hours yesterday. It's holding today. So when you see something like this, one of the things that we want to make sure is that as soon as the market opens, this doesn't just dump. There could be a lot of profit takers in here. So the same thing. I'm not necessarily going to rush out to buy, but I do want to see if these levels get hit. If these levels break down, that doesn't necessarily mean that the trade is over for me today. I kind of want to see where it settles. So I'm going to go ahead and throw on my main chart. I'll have a VWAP in there. We'll be able to see that during the actual trading session. But if this does break down, I want to see where it settles because I wouldn't be surprised if volume started to expand and flow back into it. So we'll take a look here on ABOS. By the way, if Jay Wild is out there, stocks over $5 here. Both of these have been so far today. Good morning to the chatters out there. Thrill, Edson, Becca, Paul, and Shannon. Good morning. Hopefully you are having a good morning so far. Next here on the list is going to be BIAF. This actually has a pretty nice formation here in the pre-market, and I'd really like to see this bust above this pre-market high of 335. It may do it here in the next, 23 minutes before we open. So again, none of these, I'm not trying to target any of these in the pre-market. I definitely want to see how they trade. If this comes back down to 3 and holds it, that would be great. There we are, busting right above. Did we get above it? We did. We printed 336 there. So we printed a new high here in the pre-market. I'm going to go ahead and re-add some of these levels when we get a little bit closer to the end of the pre-market session. So because I don't want to keep adding a new high line here as it ticks up 1 or 2 cents. So I'm going to reassess this when we get back closer to the open of the actual market. But what I'd like to see here for a plan, I'd like to see this come back and hold 3. Might snap 3 and overshoot to the downside a little bit, but if it bounces and curls through 3, we'll still be in good shape. Next here is going to be Longeveron. We talked about Longeveron. This has given us really, really great trades in the past. Looks like it's trading up here in the pre-market. I want to see this volume continue to expand when the market opens. If it does, a move through 5 here, we're definitely going to be watching the round number, but we're also going to watch some of these peaks that we had. So let me go ahead and mark some of these levels off here. We've got 528 as the first one, and we have 545 as the second. So I'd love to see this build some steam. We'll see if it ends up getting there. Zunaid, what do you got this morning?
Yeah, let's go ahead and take a look at some small caps. One of the ones that I was paying attention to right off the bat is going to be Apple, and I hope that you guys went ahead and took advantage of that 150 level. Reminded it to y'all yesterday, and it went ahead and hit it once again. And just look at that beautiful pop. Went straight from 150 to 152 and some change. So you got yourself a nice risk reward move on that one. So hopefully y'all took advantage of that. Now I'm interested in this short idea here. However, I'm looking to be patient, right? I was telling Ryan and Mitch that I've had a tough September, and I need to kind of lock back in because this is what I do for a living. So I'm trying to be patient, learn from my mistakes and different things like that. And one of the mistakes that I continuously see myself making this month is kind of getting into a trade for the sake of getting into a trade sometimes. And I've fallen into that pattern. So I would love to go ahead and go short, but I want to get back to getting the good risk reward. So instead of waiting till this 148.37, which it is rejecting, especially because that was support, I expect it to be resistance. I want to go ahead and wait and see if I can go ahead and get to that 150 level, right? Like I need to remind myself that cash is a position and I don't need to play the 50-50s anymore, just so I can be in a trade. So Apple, that's what I'm kind of looking for. But to the downside, you can see this right here. I drew this level a while back, and it's been kind of holding on to as support at the moment right over here. And so we'll see in the pre-market if it kind of flushes or if when the market opens, it flushes lower or not. But that 145.50 seems to be an area for support at the moment on Apple. And will I be annoyed if this kind of bumps up and comes down? Yeah, but it is what it is. We just want to get back to good trading habits. What's up?
Real quick, Zunaid, before you jump into Google there, a couple of things. So number one, it takes a lot of big boy energy to call the largest stock in the entire market a small cap. So I love the energy that you came out of the gate.
Oh, did I do that? My fault.
Yeah, but I mean, clearly, I make mistakes like that all the time. It was.
Did
just
you
funny.
ask me to look at small cap, or did I say the small
No,
cap
you
that
just
I'm
said
looking at?
you just said small caps because I just finished giving my review.
Oh.
It was nothing more than just comical. It happens to all of us, so it's just funny because it happened to be Apple, the stock that you said that with, which
My
to
bad.
me is just
My bad,
kind of
chat.
now,
My fault.
no, it's all good. It's all good. Now, I do want to really quickly address the month of September. First of all, this entire year has been bad. And Zunaid, it's been bad for you. It's been bad for me. It's been bad for probably everyone out there. So you are not alone. And it's important to remember that. In fact, I was actually just on Twitter yesterday. I saw a stat that this is, if you include the bond market, which is bigger than the stock market, this is the largest, fastest depreciation of wealth in the history of the entire market. Okay, there has been no period in the history of the market where both bonds and stocks came down as much as fast as they have this year. So this is not something that is, I don't want to say don't worry about it because you obviously have to focus on yourself first,
Right.
but just understand that it's tough out there.
Absolutely.
It's tough out there. And one of the reasons why we're trying to do what we do here is we're trying to give people other options so that you can at least do something and make something to get by. And we'll keep trying to do that. So Zunaid, you're not alone. We're here for you. Everyone's here for you. Don't worry about that.
I appreciate the pep talk, appreciate the love there. And yeah, I agree. September's been tough for a lot of folks. But it is what it is. We'll bounce back. But taking a look at Google here, which, believe it or not, chat, is not a small cap. You can see the $100 rejection that we had 2 days ago. You can see the $100 rejection that we had yesterday. Unfortunately, I realized this $100 rejection way too late, so I did not participate in this one. But now taking a look at Google, you can kind of see that you have this level right here, which was support, right, which is about the 97.51. And now it's turning into a little bit of resistance. You can see once it cracked yesterday, it tried to get above it. It couldn't unless it stayed above, for like a 2-3 minute or 20 minutes, and it came right back down. And now in pre-market, you can see that that's a level of resistance as well. So if you like Google to the short side, I would say pay attention to the 97.51, maybe give it about 50 cents of a wiggle room, and kind of go ahead and get yourself out. If it pops above, let's say 98.20 or so, you can go ahead and do that. So that's what I've got on Microsoft. Excuse me. That's what I've got on Google. And I say Microsoft because someone in the chat wants to look at Microsoft.
Another small cap.
Yeah. And then this is one where I can't believe, and I think the only reason it's a small cap is because Bill Gates left. But otherwise, I really do think this could have been a $2 trillion company. But looking at Microsoft here, I don't really see anything that. Sorry, I just got slacked. Don't really see anything that I'd like in particular. Yeah, I'll be honest. I don't really see a level that I like personally on this one. I apologize, and I don't want to just make something up. The only level that could be is maybe this 242 or the 239s, but even those have kind of been broken and validated. So I'm gonna go ahead and delete these levels here because I personally do not have anything on Microsoft. I apologize on that. Let's go ahead and check out some Tesla. Yes, there it is. We talked about this 275 level because of the after hours hold that it had. And then, of course, the pre-market hold that it had as well now. So you just got to always look left, right? You can always kind of find out these drawings are not something I just made today. Matter of fact, I just started labeling them exactly when I did it and why I did. That's a bad habit of mine that I haven't done yet. But so taking a look at Tesla, if it wants to come back and test these 375s, I'd be interested possibly into the long side. But till then, I'm going to stay put and not have any trades on this one just yet. 284 is another level of resistance. So if it can pop above that, you can see some upside movement like we did yesterday, and it got to 288. We played Tesla yesterday. We got out green. Actually, no, excuse me. The first half, we got out green. Then the second half, unfortunately, we took an L, and that L was a little bigger than our green. So, again, didn't scale out properly. So, that's on me. Things that are frustrating for me in September, but that's what I've got on Tesla here. If it pops above the 288, cool. You can take it to the long side. But for me, 275 is where I've got the level. Let's go ahead and check out AMD. I mean, this has just been weak, but I think you can clearly see a level, right, Chad, in this one, and that's going to be the $66 level right here. If it goes ahead and cracks below 66, I think you can go ahead and expect 65 to come on down. And that's where you can start scaling out to your shorts. To the upside, I've got 68.50 right over here, but I'm not really interested in the long side unless the market gives me a very good reason to. And of course, if puts come in or if SPY calls come in or anything like that. Taking a look at Nvidia here, you've got a similar area of support here around the 122. You can see I've got my level and my alert set right over at the 120 area. So we'll see if I can get any participation there to the long side. But for now, staying away from Nvidia. And then let's go ahead and check out a little bit of Amazon action on this one. On Amazon, we got a chance to play this a while back, but to me, it's like that 115 area is where I want to keep an eye on in terms of resistance. So like right around here. But to me, not anything. The 112 looks kind of clean for support here as well. You can see it held this support about 2-3 trading sessions ago. It's holding here in the pre-market as well. So we're going to go ahead and kind of see. And I said I would practice this. So let me kind of practice what I preach. And what is it? 928 pre-market lows. All right. Just kind of simple. And just because sometimes I have a brain fart. So there you go. That's what we've got on Amazon. And then let's go ahead and check out Netflix. I don't really have anything. I know I looked at that yesterday. If you really wanted to find an area of support, maybe the 222, but again, it's nothing significant. So I'm going to get Netflix out of here. Coinbase, this is an area of interest for me right here, which is around the $62 because they went ahead and bought those calls. I don't know if they've exited the position or not, especially because they did have a nice move up all the way to the 67s. So no idea if they held on to this or expecting a higher move, if they've already out of the position. I have no idea on how that would go. But then let's go ahead and now check out SPY. Yes, we do cover SPY, and we are going to cover SPY. So on SPY, the level yesterday worked out beautifully, just beautifully. We talked about the 270. All right, maybe it wasn't as pretty, but like here's why it was still a great trade, because we always talk about giving yourself about 50 cents to a point of a move before you go ahead and get risked off of a position and kind of get yourself stopped out. Rather, we said 270 was like a position to keep an eye on, right? We moved this afterwards because of this area here. You can see that it went just about, what is that, the 48s or so? Yeah, 40. So we were off by 40 cents, and then ever since it rejected that, it came right back down. The reason that we had that area of interest to have a rejection is because you can see here it kind of didn't let it go here, didn't let it pop above. And then to me, if it did successfully pop above, I was expecting a move to kind of cover this little area of here of a gap to the 373s, but it didn't. So now I'm looking for more downside, but you have support here. And let's see, where was it? It kind of broke support, right? We made new June lows, and obviously it popped right back up. And so now we'll see if we can go ahead and break this support once again to the downside. And you can see in the pre-market, 259 was holding on as support. So I'm going to kind of have that, because if we go ahead and crack 259 today, I'm sorry, did I say 270? I probably did. 370. My apologies. I'll do that a lot. If it's your first time here, you'll get used to me doing that, unfortunately. If we go ahead and crack the 359s here, you can expect a little bit more downside. Would not be surprised if we go ahead and see the 350s sometime this week, if we go ahead and crack this with volume. But again, we're not going to, anticipate a move. We're going to participate in it once it breaks it. And where that's the way that I want to go ahead and trade this one. We'll see how things move out, but that's what I've got on SPY. Don't have the cleanest levels, but this is the one that I see is a 259 in case it wants to crack that to the downside. Let's go ahead and check out the Qs. The Q, similar thing. You've got 270 here. So we're going to go ahead and mark that level. I believe 270 was, no, it's the 272s. Yeah, it was the 272s that we're holding on as support. And now it looks like we've cracked that in the pre-market. So we'll see how things go in terms of a range. To me, it's about a 10-point range. No interest for me in regarding any of this, unless, of course, it goes below the 270. Then I'm interested in it. And just taking a look at the daily here on the SPY. This is, the trend line that I drew before we had this top on the top side. We're kind of right near. If we crack this, you can expect some volatility to come into the downside. And, we'll see. Maybe we do get a little bit of a rally, because we have had red days for about 5-6 straight in a row, but that doesn't mean that we're due or anything like that for the gambler's mindset. It's just something to keep in mind, that maybe we get like a little rally and then we dump hard. I have no idea, which is why I'm trying not to go into it with any type of bias and just giving y'all levels to the upside or downside. But the main thing is just going to be pay attention to your areas and don't try to FOMO, because that's how you get into trouble. That's, unfortunately, I've been doing this for about 3 years now. And unfortunately, I'm getting back to those bad habits for me. Folks want to take a look at Rumble. So let's go ahead and take a look at Rumble. What is it? I'm assuming it's RMBL.
RUM.
RUM. RUM here. Thank you for that. Let's see what we've got on RUM. 1150, the pre-market, it hit 1150s and cracked it a little bit. And would you look at that? So if you go ahead and look a little bit left, right, you can see that an area, and support and resistance is not necessarily a number, right? It's kind of like an area. And it looks like you have a little bit of support around this 1140 area right over here above 11. So if it wants to come back down and test it, cool. Otherwise, I personally am not interested in this. I don't know if Ryan has any other take on this one. I don't know what this stock is. I don't really know what we end up like. I'm not sure what the news on is or why people are interested in this one. I only know about Bumble, not Rumble. So I'm not familiar with this one. I'll be honest.
Okay.
Do you know anything about this?
Yeah, so Rumble is one of the free-to-use video sharing platforms. So it's very much like YouTube, except it doesn't have the same heavy hand of big tech censorship like we're currently seeing with YouTube and Twitter and a lot of the tech companies out there. So one of the other things to add about Rumble here is we're definitely seeing more and more people flock there. This is definitely worth watching. Now, where does that make the stock go and when? If I had that for you, believe me, I'd be sharing it with you. But it's definitely something to watch. So keep that in mind. Now, a couple of things here real quick. I wanted to go back here to my screen. I want to address a couple of things here from the chat. So first of all, we're getting asked, do you guys like to focus on individual stocks? Do you ever trade the SPY? Yes, we definitely trade the SPY. I would say Zunaid trades the SPY probably more than anyone else. I trade the SPY when I've got a pretty good feel for it. A lot of the times I'll even take other ETFs that will trade in accordance with the SPY. So for example, on a bullish day, especially for semiconductors, if we have semiconductor news, instead of trading SPY or Qs to the upside, I'll sometimes buy a leveraged ETF like SOXL to the upside, or in some cases, SOXS to the downside. So yes, we absolutely do that. We try to trade what's in front of us, and we're trying to do things where we can demonstrate reasons and process for a trade. So we generally try to pick things that are at least somewhat predictable or have some type of trigger that we can track. So great question. Zunaid's normally all over those. So yeah, you can bank on that. Can we check tops? Jingle is asking. Yes, we can. What I would say here is be very, very careful with tops. Now, this I think it's pretty junky and scammy. However, there's definitely trading opportunities in some of these names, especially if you are not risk averse. Now, as far as tops go, we've seen headlines that have, pretty good numbers in it, only to see it retrace. So wait for the stock to set up. Right now, it looks like we're putting in some type of near-term support at 270. We were as high as 360, so we do have a pretty nice range there. Looks like it's curling in the pre-market. Wait and see what happens with the volume flow. That would be my biggest tip. When the market opens, see what the stock price is doing, see how the volume looks, see if it looks like there's buying momentum. Watch your level 2. There's a number of different things that you can do here to see if this is kind of going to be a fake out, or if you might actually have some tradable opportunities in here. So the other thing to note here real quick is that this just started popping. When I first went through my list here, this hadn't yet popped. So this move is still pretty fresh. We saw someone else in the chat ask if we could take a look at ABOS. You must not have joined from the start. That was literally the first stock that we took a look at. We did break through that 825 support. Again, this is one of the reasons why I said wait for the market to open. Wait and see for that volume flow. See what's going to happen first before getting into this in the pre-market. We'll see if we end up coming beneath this. Next, one of the supports that I'm definitely going to be watching here is the 750 to 737 area. And like Zunaid said, try to think of support and resistance, not in terms of fixed points in space and time, but rather areas. Because the price is often going to not land directly on the penny to whatever number it has, no matter what study or indicator you use. So we're going to be watching this. Looks like there was a little bit of a consolidation zone right in here on ABOS at about 785-ish. So we'll see where we end up going. Again, I really want to see what the volume flow is like when the market opens. Paul is asking, Ryan, do you ever buy dividend stocks like PBR or Philip Morris? Yes, I do buy dividend stocks. That's generally not content here for the live trading. We're trying to do a little bit faster trades. Dividend trades, the thesis there is normally longer term holds where you just kind of go through drip, right? Dividend reinvestment. So yes, I do. As far as Philip Morris, I would never own that company. Lost my dad to lung cancer, would never own any type of tobacco company. Even if they switched to cannabis, I'd have a tough time buying that one. PBR, I've never traded before, but yeah, we will look at some dividend stocks. In fact, I think when the market is finally bottoming out, I'm in the camp where I don't think that we've bottomed yet. But when we do, dividend stocks might be on the list there for some longer term holds, especially if we're getting really good prices on some of those stocks. So let me catch up through the chat here. You guys were talking about uranium. So we've looked at some of those names here. Let me have this comment here. We've looked at some of those names here. I didn't see anything fresh this morning on any of the uranium names. Anyone out there has anything, let me know. Those names that I generally look at would be Quadruple U, UEC, CCJ, and then to a lesser, CCJ looks like this actually might break out from yesterday's highs. This would actually be a fairly decent option play if this can, if this can get some juice. So we'll go ahead and watch that. One other thing that I want to go through is, and I'm sorry that Mitch is not here to talk about this, but we'll call this the Reddit report, right? So done some poking around here on Reddit and talked to some other people that have done some poking around on Reddit, and there are a number of stocks being mentioned. A couple of these stocks that I've seen being mentioned more frequently, I'm going to mention here. This is not to say that they're going to go up for sure, but the Reddit crowd has moved stocks in the past, so we might as well just have it on deck, know what's going on, and then if something happens, we'll be able to be better informed. Party City is one of the first on the list here. So the reason I wanted Mitch to be here is he loves this. He loves this stock. He loves to sing this stock ticker and all that. We do look like we're kind of at a bottom here on the chart. Maybe we are going to kind of turn around and curl back up towards this 3 level. We'll see. This is one of the stocks that's being mentioned. mentioned. Sorry, I've made notes of them here. Next one here is going to be AVCT, and I believe that we've traded this one here before. I know that this is a penny stock, but I'm pretty sure that at minimum this has come up on the relative volume scanner. This ticker looks quite familiar, and we can see this ticker is volatile. So AVCT still on one of those. I'm not going to trade this, being a 29-cent stock, but worth mentioning. And then the next one is AVYA. We've traded this one a whole bunch. This has made moves before. This stock's about $1.50 here, and it looks like we are kind of consolidating around here. So what I'd really like to see is a move up towards 2 and then maybe take out some of this consolidation area. So just 3 stocks to keep in mind being talked about on the Reddit streets.
Awesome. Appreciate that. I know someone wanted us to take a look at, what was it? H something.
Yeah. Oh, and real quick, one more thing. Sorry, a lot going on this morning, Zunaid, and I'm doing the same thing that you are. I'm all over the place. You just had Apple up there. You know, the news on Apple is that the demand, they're, I guess, cutting back on iPhone production. Demand is not as strong as it used to be. I'll be honest, in the past, in a different market condition, when stocks were more in favor, these news stories would provide awesome trading opportunities on Apple. The stock would do exactly what it's doing now. It's selling off in the pre-market. As soon as the market opens, that stock would trade back to balance. We trade calls in that, get some quick gains in that. My issue is today, I'm not sure that's the case. A lot of different things are happening. The entire macro environment is different. We know all about the semiconductor issue and the supply chain issues and what's going on in China, which is a huge part of Apple's business. So I'm not sure that trading strategy is going to still hold. And as a result, I'm not looking to just get Apple calls right out of the gate here. I do want to see how it trades. Forgot to mention that earlier, Zunaid, when you covered Apple, but it seemed prudent. So sorry for interrupting.
No, you're good. I appreciate that. Quickly on HNST, the only level I see is a support of 340, and this is the daily. You can see it's kind of held support, came back 1, 2, 3, tested it, came back here, didn't even get close enough to test it. So that's what I've got. 340 is all I've got on HNST. Wish you guys the best of luck. And of course, if it pops over 380, you can maybe have some fun to the long side. Possibly 4 can be resistant, so be careful on that. But I agree, because of what you said there, the 148.50 does look interesting to me for a short. It's just, man, I'm trying to stay disciplined, but it's like,
yeah, no, I'm with you.
I like the levels, so it's not even like I'm forcing a trade. So here's what I'm going to do. 148.40, I'm going to go ahead and get into a short. I've got my limit order out there. Again, that's 148.40. If we get it, great. If not, that's life. I'll be okay. I'll move on. Let me go ahead and go to a 3 box here. We've got Apple. Where is Apple? There we go. We've got Apple here about 40 cents away from our entry. Let's go ahead and put up the SPY in the middle. And of course, SPY at the moment opening green. We'll see if it stays green. And by the way, I'm going to give it the Apple trade about 149. 149 is the space that I'm giving Apple. If it does trigger my short, nothing at the moment yet. Let's see. Let's go ahead and put Tesla, because that's another one that I'll be interested in. You're welcome, Donald. All right, cool. There we go. Tesla, I'm also going to be interested in possibly shorting Tesla if it breaks this VWAP of 280. But again, going to start a trade patient. And would you look at that? Came all the way up. Apple did to 148.37s. Did not go ahead and fill me at the 40s, I don't think. Yep, nope, still short position. Waiting to be filled on that. But there is Apple taking a dive of about 50 cents from that 148.37 level. We missed our entry by 3 to 4 cents. SPY looking to test the previous close here at that 363.31. Or excuse me, 363.38 is the previous close, as Tesla is trying to go red to green here.
Sorry, my allergies are going crazy. So if you see me drop off for a second, it's because I'm blowing my nose and not subjecting you to the disgusting sound and video of that happening.
You are totally fine. Let me go ahead and do something.
Here, you're fine. No worries on that one at all. Let's go ahead and take a look at BIAF. BIAF is moving to the upside here. I'm not sure what the news is on this, but let me go ahead and check something out. Well, that one's up about 84% here today. It's trading higher after the company announced it received an additional 7.7 million from the exercise of warrants. So yeah, that's some good stuff there. on BIAF. If you're interested in this one, I think you can give it about 50 cents of a wiggle room to the downside. Let's go ahead and quickly take a look at the daily on this. Oh yeah, you can definitely, it's got room. No question about it. It's got room, but that doesn't mean it's going to go, right? So you want to kind of practice good risk reward. I think the closer you get it to 350, the better. If you really want to wait, you can wait for $3 if you get that. And wow, we missed our entry on Apple by 4 cents. And now it just went ahead and took a nosedive for a whole $1 here at the open.
And that
Unfortunate.
nosedive is exactly why I did not trust the actual bounce here today. Suspected something like that was going to happen. We'll see where that finds some footing. Really quickly, Alana here saying, Ryan, start taking local honey. It helps with allergies. I'll be honest, folks, if you don't know this, this might be one of the most valuable comments made in this entire chat, including some of the stock stuff that we've talked about. Local honey it is going to be set up to help you prevent allergies from the area that you live in. Alana, I do have some Great Lakes raw honey that I've been putting in my tea. It's working. It's just not working as fast as I'd hoped.
Let's see what else we've got. Let's check out AMD if we can on here. Again, you have BIAF moving to the upside. AMD. We're going to go.
What's sorry, go ahead.
You're good. You're good.
I was going to say ABOS first move here was down right to that 785 level. It's bouncing here. It's right at 8. What we really like to see this do is move through 8 on some good volume and then take out 824. 850 might be next.
Yeah, I'm definitely seeing some conflicting buys in terms of calls and puts, but there's Apple, man. This is where a trade that I didn't get a chance to get into impacts the next trade that I will get into, because I missed this Apple short by 4 cents. And I mean, just look at that move, man. And then it's just so freaking frustrating, but it's fine.
Oh my God.
We move on. What's up?
ABOS, man. That was okay. So I'm not in this. Watching the level 2 here, it's not terribly spready. It gets wide and then it tightens up. But boy, oh boy, this is volatile. We talked about that 824 level. It literally, in the blink of an eye, went above that 824, went as high as what looks like what do I have here as the high print? 846 as your high print there, pretty much right to the VWAP. And was immediately slammed. So ABOS here, in fact, let me go ahead and add VWAP to this chart. I cleared it off last night. Went almost right to the VWAP and rejected. You can see it right there. And huge pull here. So this is one of the reasons why I didn't want to buy this right out of the gate, right? I want to see how this trades. I've already seen a move down as the first initial move. And on the bounce attempt, they immediately yanked it almost 40 cents. Actually, more than 40 cents as this continues to break down. Looks like 739 going to be your next level of support. I'm going to wait this out. I'm going to wait for this to set up before I try to be a hero here.
I'm going to try to practice what I preach in the morning. So I am looking to short Tesla, right? And I'm going all the way out to November 18th. The 233.33 puts, I'm looking to get filled at $10. Currently trading at $10.50 on the bid. I'm looking to get filled at $10 if I can. But that's what I'm looking for there. But I'm also going to start a small position on a Tesla short here as well. I'll tell you exactly what my fill is. Perfect. 279.63 is my fill. I'm going to wait to see how this 10-minute candle reacts. I'm going to give it about $2 of wiggle room to the upside to kind of, try to get back above. If it does, great. If not, I told you guys the 280 level crack is where I wanted to go short. Now it's kind of testing that area, and we'll see what happens. But I am short at 279.63. Today, I'm not looking to make any life-changing money. I never really am. But today, I'm just looking to stay green. That is all I care about today.
Protect your capital, look to hit singles, and occasionally you'll get some homers in there. That's basically the strategy I use every day, Zunaid.
Yep. And I think
I'm with you. Give it at least 15 or 20 minutes to shake out here.
Yeah.
And cooler really quick, by the way, here, Becca, cooler here at the highs, 149. Looks like it's going for 150. Not a whole lot of volume here, though. So unless the volume picks up, I'll probably stay away from this, as I just don't want to get trapped and yanked.
And AMD is go from this 10-minute candle has gone red to green, green to red, kind of back and forth on this one, as Apple is making new lows here, and Tesla looking to test VWAP one more time. And don't forget that level that we talked about is at 145.50, which was the pre-market low. So I do expect a bounce there. Matter of fact, I'm going to go ahead and put an order out, AAPL, because we don't want to catch a bounce here. We're going to try to be a little bit more patient. So we're going to try to catch a bounce at 145.56 is where my first order is in at Apple to try to get a bounce. That's 145.56. 56. And the short that I had, let me go ahead and cancel that because we didn't get filled. All right.
ABOS continues to break down SOBR sober here. Looks like the 2 level might be something. We've already popped above it once. We're trying to trade back up to that 2 level.
What's interesting is that Apple's making new lows, but Tesla's kind of holding on strong here. So that'll be interesting to see how that plays out. And there is the SPY looking to close below VWAP on this 10-minute candle. About a minute 47 left on that one. Come on.
Here we go
down.
on sober, moving back up towards that 2. At 2, took it out. There's the yank. Okay, next move through 2 might be a little bit better here. Not in it yet. Not in it yet. Let's see if we can push back up here. I'm basically watching the flow here. Sorry, Zunaid.
You're fine. You're fine. Let's see if Apple can fill us and take maybe a point above. It'll be interesting, though, because if Apple fills us and then we move to the upside, Tesla then will probably kind of do the same as well. Did we get filled? Yes, we did. Cool. So I got filled at 145.56. I have been filled there. We're going to give it about at least 50 cents.
ATXI from yesterday, is that moving? It sure is. So we've traded down here. We're back to where we were in the post market or in the after hour session yesterday. Looks like we're having a little bit of consolidation here. I think what I'd like to see is to just break out of this consolidation zone. Let's call it 735, right? 735, break above 735. ATXI is interesting. Remember, this thing ran huge yesterday.
Oh, yeah, I did. Yeah, I definitely did. I think it held above VWAP the whole time, too. Let me go ahead and put that up.
Yeah, until the very end of the day where it broke beneath, Zunaid. You're absolutely right.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Yep, till the last. And then it kind of held. Look at that. Held, uptrend all the way. And then it just unfortunately could not stabilize it. But that previous close is acting as resistance at the moment. And we are about, what is that? 20 cents in the money on our Apple trade. We want to get at least about 156 if we can. About 145.90 is what I'd like to get on this one. As we're $1 in the money on our our Tesla short. And let me go to
Sober
Apple
going
here.
for 2. Might try some here.
Shit.
Okay, I'm going to actually try a little here at 199. See if we can get a push. I'd love to see a break above 208 here. Going to have a tight stop on this. 190 is your VWAP. 193 is going to be my stop.
Looks like Apple went and got all the way to 145.90s. I've got a sell order here to sell some at 145.92s. And I'm going to go ahead and cover some Tesla shorts here as well. Perfect. Covered some around 148.51s.
Here we go on sober. Let's see if we can take out 208. Come on, 208. There we go on 208. All right. Out here at 209. There we go. Got filled on that second pop, 209. Okay, so sober. That actually worked out there. A little bit of a scalp to start the day off. We'll start with a little bit of green on the screen. That'll be good. Watch this thing run to $4 like ATXI did yesterday with me out of it. Moving higher here, 212 here on sober. I'm going to wait for this to set up again.
That would be sick. You can see Apple went ahead and hit the 156 level. That means we were taken out at 145.92. So we wanted to play the bounce at 145.50s. We got that. I still have about 25% left. Now, my next target will be VWAP. If it wants to come back and test this VWAP area, I'd be interested in getting out of all of my Apple position. I am going to go ahead and get out of 90% of my Tesla trade here on the short side. Got out at, what was it? Let me cover. Where would I cover? I've covered at 278.51s. So that was a point of a cover. It did go lower, but unfortunately I was paying attention to Apple, so I didn't get it. But it went even $2 in the money for our short. And there is Apple moving to the downside. Let's see if it goes ahead and holds this 145.32.
ALZN popping here, popping in 135. ALZN, this is the sympathy for the Biogen IODEC, pretty much any of these Alzheimer names. ABOS is the same thing, by the way. Now that continues to break down here. So it looks like it did hold this 739 level. We'll see if it wants to bounce from here or if it breaks down further. But again, also worth watching here, ALZN. This did have a pop on some pretty good volume. What I'd like to see now is maybe a little bit of consolidation and a curl back up towards that high. If we can do that with expanding volume, we can use that as an entry trigger.
We had shorted Tesla at that 279.63. Now it's trading at about 277.80s. So there's a couple of points of short profit on that one. Again, 90%. I'm already out, only holding on to 10% as you're getting a bounce from the 145 in Apple. ATXI now above the previous close. Damn it, I know.
Okay, let's watch.
Okay, here, real quick. Here's what I'm doing. ATXI, I'm going to look to get filled at $7.01. What you got?
No, you're exactly right. That was a great call, Zunaid. It took out that consolidation area that we just talked about 2 minutes ago. What number did I have for that? 736. We're currently at 748. Here we go. A little bit of juice going here on ATXI. I'm not in this, by the way. I'm not in this. Right now, it feels like a chase. Zunaid, it looked like you wanted this to come back into a specific level. That's kind of the boat that I'm into.
Yeah, pretty much. And instead, it's going to say bye-bye as it moves towards $8 there. Nice pop. As soon as it got over that previous resistance of the previous close, it just said bye-bye. I'm going to go ahead and pop above, hit $8. The reason I'm looking to wait for 7 is because 1, whole number, 2, VWAP. So if it wants to continue, I'm hoping that it'll go ahead and come back and give us a chance to get filled at $7. Again, staying patient. Do not want to chase. Do not want to scale in. And that's what I'm looking to do here as Apple is making a couple of moves. Let's see what we've got here. That's kind of weird. Let me see something here. All right. So far, profitable trades. If you're interested in the long side, I think for Apple, you know where you're stopping now. You're risking yourself about $1. Matter of fact, should I do it? Right when I wanted to. That's on me. Remember, we're still holding on to a little bit of Apple. We bought those around 145.50s. We already sold a lot of it at 146s. Now we're waiting for 146.40s. That's around VWAP. And we're waiting for ATXI to come down and fill us. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and also set out. So I'm going to cancel the amount of shares that I had at 701. And I'm going to go 7.27. I'm looking to get filled some. So 727. Okay. And then I'm going to go ahead and get some at 701 as well. So for example, if I was looking to get the 1,000 shares at 701, now I'm looking to get 750 at 701 and 250 at 726s. And I did just go ahead and get filled at 727s on my ATXI. So I'm in at 727. The reason I wanted that, I'm going to go ahead and blow this chart up here at the 1 minute. To me, you can see you had resistance at the previous close, which was 726. Resistance, resistance, resistance. I'm hoping that the 720 area will go ahead and act as support now. And right underneath it is VWAP, which I'm hoping to get filled in more. So that's the reason I got in. So I've got about 25% of my size on ATXI. I'm looking to go ahead and sell some at around $7.69 for the lulls. So let's see if I go ahead and get that fill. I'm already positioned with my limit order at 769. I'll let you know if I go ahead and get filled to that. But let's go ahead and get back to our triple box so we can pay attention to what's going on with Apple, as Apple is making new lows there. ATXI, we're in. And Tesla rejecting that 380 area. Man, it's got me interested. Matter of fact, I'm going to look to go ahead. Did I ever get filled on that Tesla short on the puts? No, I did not. I'm going to cancel the Tesla short on the puts that I was looking to get the November 18th. We're still in 10% of our size on the Tesla short at the 279.62. So we'll see how that behaves. And there is ATXI moving to the upside. Did we get filled on our out? No, we did not. What's the high on this candle here? Ooh! Matter of fact, it looks like it was 769, but apparently other people got filled to the sell side. I did not. But the 769s did hit on this 1 minute candle. Unfortunately, I just did not get filled. But
And real
That's
quick
okay.
here, tops. So you guys had mentioned that earlier. Tops looks like maybe there's a potential trade here if we crack 310. We're currently hugging this 3 line. Again, this is a wild one. I have no position in it. I've not traded it yet today. Tops looks like this could, if it takes out 310, maybe we could get some juice here.
Yeah, let's see. On this Tesla, I'm going to have a stop of, what is this? On Tesla, I'm going to have a stop of 181. Oh, excuse me. See, I do this a lot. 281 and 20 cents is my stop on Tesla. Again, we already made money on the, why can't I set my stop? Do I already have an order out there? Oh, that's why. Okay, I fixed it. Cool. We already made money on the Tesla short. This is just a little bit of a runner that we're leaving. And here is ATXI coming back down. Man, I'm a little annoyed I did not go ahead. Yeah, no, I was hoping that I would be surprised. But nope, looking at my broker, I did not get filled when this went to our profit-taking area, which was a 769. Let me go ahead and... So that's where we're looking to take profit right there.
I'll be honest, man. Your sound effects are second to none. Your man-made
Oh,
sound
my.
effects, they're so good. They're just so good, dude. Man. Tops breaking down here. Big pull, 290 now. ABOS looks like it did find some footing around that 740 level. We are trying to curl here. Next spot would be a 784. A move through 784, 8 might be in play. ABOS. Remember, this is sympathy play for the Alzheimer's news from Biogen.
ATXI skipped all the way down, and oh my God, I'm about to get... All right, ATXI now to the downside. I did go ahead and get filled on my 701s here. So now this gets a little tricky for me because it's like, where am I going to look to get out? Looks like if it goes ahead... Let me go to the All right, just to protect my capital, I'm going to go ahead and get out here of everything. And I got out at 690s. 690s, I am out of ATXI. Unfortunate that we did not get filled on our 769s. It hit it. We literally went to the penny, but we did not get filled.
That's something else. That's something else, Zunaid. That's something else that at minimum we should talk about here. This is one of the reasons why I'm always looking for stocks that are going to be liquid, because you could have the most perfect plan. Zunaid, you had that planned literally to the penny. I rarely am able to do that. Somehow you managed to do that. The stock did exactly that, but there just wasn't enough volume in order for your order to get filled. So this is an important realization that I've had in my own trading. When trading some of these small caps, they've got to be liquid enough. And if they're a little bit less liquid than you're accustomed to, guess what? Lower your position size.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. And it's also not like I'm trading, tens of thousands of shares. It's just, it's unfortunate, but it's fine. It is what it is.
Jay Rice, Jay Rice
You're
measuring the breath is the most positive we've seen in days. That is not surprising given how terrible the last few days have been. My follow-up question here is, do you think that this is just kind of a one-day bounce back, or might we have some type of run going on here?
Yeah, I kind of am interested in going long on some stocks, but I won't.
Here's Zunaid. That's one of the battles that I'm dealing with. There are a number of really good stocks. Paul was asking earlier about dividend stocks. There would be a number of long-term hold stocks that I want to be in, namely Costco, right? Namely Costco.
Oh yeah.
But I'm not sure that we're there yet, right? I don't feel confident that now I don't expect to nail the bottom. I don't expect to be able to buy the bottom tick, but I just don't think that the sell-off, every time I show up here, even when we bounce, we end up closing lower. The sentiment is so bad. There's a lot of really bad stuff going on right now. I'm just not ready to do that. When that changes, we're going to be talking about it without a doubt.
Yeah, let's see how things move on. You've got Apple trying to break above the 145.50 area. If the SPY can continue to the upside, you can see a little bit of movement. Again, we are still, am I still there? Yep, I'm still there on my Apple, in my Tesla short, 10% size remaining on that. ATXI, I can't get overview up at the moment. Let's see where the SPY is. Where are you at? SPY. There you go. SPY looking to make new highs. Am I going to do it?
Oh, PRTA. You're right, Jay Wild. That is PRTA breaking out from that pre-market high area. They actually set that high right at the open, came back in and then snapped it. Does not look like a sell the news event here, at least not so far.
SPY went ahead and made new highs. I'm scalping Apple here, and since I'm scalping, it's just not quick enough for me to tell you guys, buy it, because then it's a delay in the stream and it could pull back by that time. But I'm just scalping Apple, and that's why I mentioned that 145.50 level. And again, remember, now the sell's perfect. We're looking to go ahead and sell some. Where is my order? Sorry. Where did I sell it? The previous position that I had, I'm still looking to sell some around maybe the 146.30s now, if I can get that. Let's go ahead and check out Tesla and see if our stop's about to be hit. We're about 26 cents away from our stop being hit on the Tesla short, as ATXI is still below VWAP here.
Interesting setup here. Zunaid, interrupt me if you need to, because I don't have a trade here yet. Interesting setup here. Twitter looks pretty decent. Looking at the daily, let me throw up my screen here real fast. Looking at the daily here, got a pretty decent formation. Sure looks like it wants to challenge the high of this candle that was put in on the 26th. It's strong today amidst, like Jay said, one of the strongest breaths we've seen in days. And if we take a look here at the intraday chart, we could see that yesterday in the after hours session, we got up to about 43.36. We're currently at 43. 43.56 was that level we identified from the daily. So maybe Twitter is going to find some more juice here, starting to pull away from its VWAP. Yeah. I'm going to run to the washroom. Will you be able to manage for 2 minutes? I'll be right back.
Yep. Take your time. No worries on that one. If you're trying to go short, you have an opportunity on Apple as it's trading close to VWAP, close to that 146. Your stop loss to me would be about 60, 70 cents higher. And if it wants to test the lows again, that's where you can go ahead and get out. But the closer you get it to about 146.25 is the better on Apple, in case you're looking to go short there. And of course, Tesla for the past 15 minutes has been making higher highs, but that 281 has been resistance. So we'll see which way the market wants to take us. And let's go ahead and check out what's happening with the SPY. SPY currently at the after making highs is at 365s. 365s on the SPY, 364.46 now on that one. Bum 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 bum. There we go. Come on. Come on. My only position at the moment is Tesla, and that's to the downside. Just still have a little bit of a piece left, waiting for it to possibly move to the downside so we can profit some more on the short side. But let's go ahead and check out what's happening in Sava here. Sava finding a little bit of support at the 46s. Let's see if there are any options that we can play on Sava that people are buying. Nope, don't see any unusual activity in Sava, so I'm going to leave it alone. But I do see the 155 puts coming in on Apple, which is obviously $10 in the money. So nothing crazy happening there. But there's Tesla, again, rejecting that 281 level. So you kind of know, if you're looking to go short Tesla, you know that if it gets above that 281 level, you got to go ahead and get out.
So I'm back
AMC
now.
Puts. Yep. What's up?
And I'm sorry, Zunaid. I left my screen up there, so we kind of just watched Twitter.
Oh, my bad. I was
on.
Great.
Real quick, tops at that 310. Looks like it's going to snap it. This is wild. I'm actually not going to take any here. I don't trust it. But tops at that 310 level. Let's see what happens. Okay, it broke right through it and it popped 10 cents already. I have a high print here actually of 22. That's 12 cents. New highs now went to 26. Boy, it's moving faster than I can talk right now. Crazy part here is that this is still pretty volatile. This is being yanked quite a bit when it breaks this. So not an easy trader by any chance, by any means. I'm actually glad I kind of sat this one out. I don't need that emotional roller coaster here. Tops looks like it is pushing. Next spot here to really be to make note of, 360. That was going to be our pre-market high here. So can we actually trade back up there? Hitting 330 now here on tops. I would say this real quick. If you did trade tops and you get gains in tops, do not be afraid to take those gains and then redeploy them as you see fit. 330 incoming here on tops. This is a big move here, big volume stick. 2 of them in a row on the 1 minute.
AMD made new highs. And Ethan, you're welcome, man. You're the one clicking the buttons. You're the one clicking the mouse. Congrats on the execution on the Tesla short. Make sure you call it a day if you're good with it. Let's see what the market is doing here.
Tops 345. Tops making me look like an absolute moron right now, but that's okay. Tops 345 here. Really quickly, JP, the platform that you see on the screen right now is Benzinga Pro. It's not used to trade. It is a financial news media wire and other tools that I'm using, namely this relative volume scanner, this unusual options calendar, and the chart. 354 going to be your high here on tops. We're almost at that 360 level. I got to think that's in play. Volume here is incredible.
Let's see. Apple is kind of holding that support. Makes me kind of want to go long. I'm not going to lie. We're already long a little bit, but only have like a little bit left. that we sold at 146. So we still have just a tiny, tiny piece left as Tesla is trying to move to the upside. We have our out taking our risk off at 281s on the 10% that we have. And we will see how things go. I personally trade on E-Trade. I'm thinking about going back to TradeStation. And yeah, Ryan trades on Thinkorswim. I've got some money on Thinkorswim. I might move that over to TradeStation. Can I buy and sell multiple times with the system you were using? Well, it's interesting that with that username that you asked a stock question, because usually we get other type of stuff. But can you? Yeah, but you can do that with any broker, right? It's about having more than $25,000 and then a margin account, or having a cash account that if you have a less than 25,000 and knowing how that works. So definitely contact your broker for more information there. And I just got notified that 281.18 has been taken out on my Tesla short. So that 10% that we had remaining, we went ahead and took it out, as you got Apple now near view app. Tesla looking strong.
Apple looks like it wants to curl on this intraday, to be honest. In the 5 minutes,
it does
curl in here, yeah.
It does, and I kind of want to go long.
I think a break above 146 is a decent trigger, honestly, looking at this formation. In fact, let me look at the options here. Let me make sure my birds aren't getting killed. Hang on.
Nope, you're good. Just a few grand and only can trade 3 times a week on Robinhood. So that's because you probably have a margin account. If you go to a cash account, again, I don't know about Robinhood, okay? But I think if you go to a cash account, then you can trade and play with those few $1,000s every single day, but you have to wait for settlement to happen before you can double dip, if you will. But again, not an expert at it. Call your broker, try to get some information, or call another broker and move your funds if that's what you want. Forex versus stocks. I've never in my life traded Forex. I've had a bunch of friends call me and say, "Hey man," I'm like, "No." But never traded.
I never
Forex
got
in
into
my life.
Forex. I never, to me, that was never a thing. I like stocks.
Zunaid, why can't you buy a put and a call for the same ticker at the same time? You actually can. You absolutely can. However, you may not be able to because you may not have those options permissions. So contact your broker to see if you can get a higher level of permission granted to you. But you 100% can go ahead and grab a put and a call for the same ticker at the same strike. You absolutely can do that. It is a strategy that people use often. A little bit of a spread action. So you definitely can do that. Let's see. I'm taking a look around to see what all is moving so I can try and have some interest in it. Teladoc. This one I'm sure is going to be a nice one. And there it is. Teladoc to the move to the upside. Missed this one. You did have some options in this. I didn't get a chance to look at it early on, so I did miss it. And let's see if Tesla can finally make a lower low for the past 20 minutes or so. But so far, it looks like it wants to continue to the upside. Not going to lie.
Tesla and Apple both look like they want to curl here. Apple testing that 146. So it'd be interesting to see if we pop, if we go above it. There's 146 on Apple. Moving higher now. See if this can continue.
I'm going to try something here. I want to get a take long here. Small size, 25%. 280.94 is my fill on Tesla. I got filled at 280.94. I'm going to look to, there's a fire alarm. Apple went ahead and crossed above VWAP as well. SPY making new highs. Perfect. We are about 30, 40, 50 cents in the money on our Tesla trade. And there's the pop above. Now we're about almost $1.20 away from that one. Going to go ahead and scale some out here. There's a Tesla pop to the 282s. Come on, let me get 282s. Let me get 282s. Come on. Matter of fact,
new highs.
I'm going to be a little greedy. 282.70s is where I'm looking to sell. This is going to be annoying probably if I don't get it, but it's me. You know, I'll deal with it. I'm looking to sell some at 282.70. So if I get it, great. If not, I'll cry about it and it'll be fine. Actually, let me look at the 10-minute on this. Yeah, we're above it. Come on. Giddy up, baby.
Here, Zunaid, I have the perfect image for what you were just saying. You ready for this?
Yes. Lie down, try to cry a lot. Oh yeah, that was me last night in bed. 100%. Yep. No question about it.
Oh.
I'm a little annoyed that you were creeping on me and got a picture of me like that, but that's okay. That's fine. Except I don't think I'm that white when I cry, but you know, it's fine. It's all right.
Oh, Zunaid.
Do you guys use the dollar index? Dude, I'll be honest, Eli. I don't want to say I'm dumb when it comes to trading, but like my brain can't multitask. Like, oh, here's what's going on there. Here's what's going on there. I've taught myself how to trade, and I've never looked at the index. I've never looked at anything else besides the chart, the markets, and that's about it. And of course, I didn't want to take my profits on Tesla when I was in it for a point and a half, and it's pulling right back down. As Tesla rejected VWAP here on the 10-minute SPY, made new highs around 366 and pulled right back down. But oh my goodness. Oh, come on. Really? That's what we're doing? That's what I get for being greedy. Of course, we do have an interview coming up later on today. So, Ron, I don't know what your schedule is, but I'm going to need to go change around maybe like
No problem.
45, and
no
I'll be
problem.
back.
I'll cover it for you. I do have another real quick like meme for the situation that just happened there.
Yeah,
you want to see this one too?
Yes. Why not?
Let's.
I hate the fire alarm. Here, I'll go to mute it, buddy. Much butthurt. I sense in you. Cry like a. Would you? We should. I mean, yeah. Again, like I said, I did. I'm pretty sure I looked that ugly when I cried, last night. You know what I mean? What's your background?
Zunaid, I gotta say, major props to setting me up for some of these gifts that or these memes that I've saved on my computer. They've made me laugh in the past, and now you're bringing it back here for another lap, and I can't tell you how much I appreciate that.
No
Let
worries.
me catch up here and answer a couple of questions from the chat. Zunaid, if you have a trade, please interrupt. Thrill is asking, what's a class that I can take on the stock stuff? I'm making money and then giving it back. Still in the positive, but just not really sure on all my trades. Thrill, we have a stock trading school service here where Mark Petrino is the instructor. And there have actually been a number of people in this chat that have sworn by that. You'll know Born to Be Free is often in this chat. He swears by that program. So let me get you the link. The stock trading class is what you should do. Tom is asking, Ryan, how do you utilize the movers tool and the scanners tool? Which ones do you use in the pre-market and when the market opens? Tom, this is a great question. I utilize both these tools every single day. I use the movers in the pre-market. In fact, let me show you. I do this. I do gainers, pre-market, and session, and then I look for the stocks that are up. Now, I happen to have a volume filter on here. I would advise that you don't use that, at least not until you understand how it's working. But basically, if I apply this volume filter, it filters this list of 100 stocks based on my volume. So what I do in here is I go ahead and I enter 9,999. And now I'm having all of these stocks are stocks that have traded at least 1 million shares in the pre-market. I run through these tickers. I do my technical analysis. I set myself up for the day. Then when the market opens, I flip over to this workspace, which has my scanner tool that's searching for relative volume, unusual options at the bottom, halt tool, block trade tool, and 52-week highs and lows tool. So great question. If you need some more help with that, should send me an email. We can do a support session for it.
That's definitely some good stuff. Definitely go ahead and check that out. Let's go ahead and get back to my charts here real quick. As you can see, we were in the money by, let's see what my entry was on this. My entry on the Tesla was about 280.94. So let's just call it 281 for easy math. And we were in the money by about a point. I did not take it because I wanted a point and a half or so. And that's on me. I might get stopped out here. And, it's just the story of my life here lately. So it's no worries on that. We'll see how things go as Apple is below VWAP, SPY trying to hold above VWAP. That's what the only reason I'm still in this Tesla trade is because SPY is above VWAP. And I'm hoping that we can go to make a march towards the 265s and 266s. And of course, SPY hears that. So it says, I'm going to go to the downside instead. But we'll see how that trade works out on the on Tesla. I am going to have my stop here because I am down a point at least on this one. Let me go ahead and get my stops in order. Excuse me. If Tesla wants to break it, so I'm going to have my stop at 278.90. 278.90 is where I have my stop on Tesla. So that's in. If I lose, I'm losing a couple of points, which is okay because that's what my target was to the upside here anyway. Let me answer some more questions here. Taught yourself. What did you study? I just studied on YouTube and
Me too.
and just
I learned more about
trial
the
and error.
markets. I learned more about the markets from YouTube and books that I would read about the market than I did from any college class that I took. And my major was in management and minor in finance. So, markets, absolutely, you can be self-taught. This is one of the things where you get out of it what you put into it.
Yeah, no question about that. Let me go ahead and check something out here. Gonna go ahead and buy that. And that's 281s. Cool. Just positioning a couple of things here on my end, and you've got Tesla coming to the downside again. If it breaks that 279, I should be out of my trade, losing a couple of points. But SPY, I'm hoping it will bounce, as you can see from the middle of my screen, to the upside, and maybe that 145.32 will hold as support. I did go ahead and grab some more shares of Tesla at 280.06. I'm looking to sell those at 281s if I can get the fill. Come on, baby, just give me 40 more cents.
ABOS here holding above that 784 level on this curl. We went down to 740. It's actually pretty good. The levels that we identified are holding pretty well today. So if we take a look at this, we traded down to 739. Remember, all of these levels we got from the pre-market. So when we were looking at the chart, we didn't have this data. We drew these lines from the data that we had in the pre-market, and sure enough, when the regular session opened, those levels are absolutely holding here. So we held at 740. Looks like we've bounced. We had a nice little power candle through that 784. We've come back to back test and kind of consolidate that, and now it looks like we're curling up. So I would say that a break here on maybe a move through 8. I think we probably go to 824. It's yanking right now. This is exactly why you don't front run things. We'll see where ABOS goes, but this looks this looks like there's more left in here.
My Tesla trade is not looking too pretty, as SPY is looking close to breaking VWAP. I'm about 20 cents away from getting stopped out on my Tesla trade, as you've got Apple continuing to the downside as well. We've got about 1:35 in this 10-minute candle. Am I going to get stopped? No notification from E-Trade yet. Looked like it bounced right from the 279, so I'm about 10 cents away from getting stopped out on that if it cracks the 279s. But I'm hoping the previous close will act as support and we can make our move to the upside, at least on SPY, to help our Tesla trade. But that is looking more and more like a red trade to me. We had a good short on it. We tried to go long. We were in the money by a point. I decided to be greedy. What a surprise. Didn't work out. Let's see. Someone else had a question here.
Yeah, I'm kind of going through the chat too here real quick. Bossman says YouTube has a bad name due to the Lambo boys, but it's a great resource. So that's actually a really good comment. The one thing that I would say is that if any of the instructional material that you're going through is either promising or advertising high-end sports cars and vacation homes and things like that, I'd be wary of that. It's true, you can make a lot of money at this job, but it's also true that this job is very difficult. If you need any proof of that, just look at how this year went. And a lot of people get into this thinking that the gains are going to come quick, and that's just not reality. That's a very, very small percentage. Most traders fail. So the amount of work that you have to put in at the beginning is great, and it will pay off down the road. Real quick regarding the stock-related books, Rip and DT, great to see you this morning, Dan. Reminiscence of a Stock Operator is a good book to read if you've never. As I had mentioned before, we have a stock market-related books help article on our help site. I'll go ahead and throw this in the chat so you all can view this. And guess what? Reminiscence of a Stock Operator is absolutely on there. A whole bunch of really good books in this list. I encourage you to check it out.
Yeah, there's Tesla moving below, so I'm going to go ahead and get out of my Tesla long side. Gave some gains back on that one, unfortunately. We'll see how the market wants to behave as it is now below VWAP. Let me go ahead and check one more thing here. Yep, that's definitely red. I'm going to go ahead and get into I just always get into these habits.
ABOS,
but I did like the
pull here, by the way.
What is it?
ABOS pulling more here.
I'll put that up. I'm going to go ahead and get into a short. I'm going to go ahead and get into a 233.33 put on Tesla expiring November 18th. Paid about what is my price here? $10.61.
The thinker, I was looking at Apple calls too briefly there on that curl. Now that curl was rejected. We obviously have some bad news here, but it does look like we're trading pretty well against 145 here. So the way I would set up a potential trade right now, I would trade this against 145, right? A break of 145 to the downside, or these intraday lows. I guess technically that's 144.83. But in that area, break to the downside, I'd probably wait for it to settle again. Otherwise, maybe you do get a curl. And to the upside, if you take out that 46.75, next you have VWAP here at 47.13. And then maybe back up to 148. So I actually don't hate that here, but this trade is going to have to be managed. and we don't have confirmation that this is going to continue to the upside here. So, set up here, I'd be looking for a break above 146. If you took it right now, I'd trade it against 145.
And of course, you've got SPY looking to get above VWAP, which it may do successfully, which means our Tesla is going to pop above as well. Just we'll see how things work out. But again, I am short at the 1060 to the 1061s on those Tesla puts. Let's see if there's anything else that we needed to answer. But yeah, I definitely agree with the whole Lambo situation that you said. If anyone's promising you, you know, riches and greatness and fame, definitely do not send them any money. That being said, my Bitcoin address is in the chat, because I can promise you, if you send me some money, I can, you know, I can help you out. Help you out. That's all I'm saying. So it's in the chat.
That was a very, very slick panhandling maneuver right there. I props on that one too. I didn't see that one coming.
Oh man. Neither the losses I'm going to cause people, but obviously that's just a random gibberish address that I just typed.
Oh, I thought that was for sure. I guess there's too many D's and 5s and 4s in there,
and it's also too short.
You actually copied that.
No, it's too short. It's too short. I should, you know,
it's a trap. It's a trap.
I should one of these days.
That asset right now.
One of these days, I'm just gonna put like my actual Bitcoin address and be like, yeah, guys, like, look, if you go in and send me $2, I'll go ahead and flip it into 100 by tomorrow. Like, let me know. But anyway, SPY looking to break above VWAP. We'll see if it stays above or not. We've got about 637 in this 10-minute candle. And you can see, look, if you want to talk about a basic and a support level for Apple, you can see that it is clearly the 145, right? You can see that, hey, this is the area of support for Apple right now. So if you want to go long, you're risking about 60 cents, okay? If you want to go short, you can take a look at the upside and say, okay, maybe above VWAP around 146.50 is where I can go ahead and get out on my short. However, I would say you may want to go ahead and wait till the break of 145.32s, or excuse me, the break of 145s on the 5-minute candle close below, to then go ahead and go short. So you break the low. We're well past the 30-minute mark on this one. So we'll see what happens. A SPY is right back above VWAP, now trying to break the 364s, and there it goes, breaks it to the upside. I will say, though, if I go ahead and lose this Tesla trade, I will probably be done for the day, because it's one thing to have a losing day. It's another day to have a really bad losing day. So if it happens, that's fine. I've been on a losing streak. At this point, I'm just trying to preserve some capital, because this market has not been friendly to me. Get 50 people to do that. You can pay one person back. Just K, don't do that. Yeah, so I'll tell you what, Brandon, why don't you go ahead and send me some bucks, and I can go ahead and take care of you, pal. And notice how the SPY is bouncing above VWAP, right? As is Tesla, but Apple's having a tough time. So to me, I read that as Apple being the weaker option here. So if you're interested in the short, to me, Apple makes more sense than Tesla. As I have a short position on Tesla, I say that. But we'll see how things play out. And maybe we get this as a wick. We'll see. What's up?
XFOR. Just broke yesterday's intraday high. Doesn't have enough volume yet, but interested in this. Actually, saw this from Twitter. The Twitter. 130. Maybe this breaks above. Took out 130 here. A little bit of seller at 131. We'll see if this can get going.
And I will say I'm happy. So you'll notice, if you've been watching this show for a long time, I typically go ahead and get some weeklies and this, that, and the other. But I decided to go all the way out to November 18th. And that's because I've also noticed that I'm typically directionally correct. However, not correct time-wise. So, you know, I'm expecting a move within the next 5-10 minutes. It happens like an hour later. And by that time, Theta has already screwed me sideways. And so it doesn't help me in my P&L whatsoever.
You know, I'll say this about options. You may disagree with me, and that's totally fine. But from my own experience, the one of the things that you can do with options, stop buying near dated calls. The closer your contracts are to expiry, that means the more perfect your call needs to be. Now, again, I'm not saying that this can't work, but if you give yourself a little bit more time, you'll often be able to absorb more of a mistake or not take as big of a loss. When you're buying options that expire the day that you buy them or 3 days after you buy them, you're playing with fire. So be careful with that. Now, Zunaid, he's often taken contracts like this. He's practiced doing this. He's got a plan in place if it doesn't work. He's not going to let himself get caught on that. Options can move fast, and the closer you buy them to expiry, the faster they can move. Yeah. So I also saw another question here by Eli Mad. What do you do when you're on a losing streak? Jay Rice just hit it right on the head. When you're on a losing streak, you can do one of two things or both. Reduce your size, take a few days off. Sometimes just resetting your mental state is enough to get you out of that slump. And if you reduce your size, you're not going to take as much damage on the downside when things don't go well. This is an excellent tip from one of our community members here, Jay. Thank you very much.
Yeah, absolutely agree with you on that one. As Apple's above VWAP, SPY above VWAP, Tesla above VWAP. And yeah, you're absolutely right, which is why, I texted the guys yesterday. I said, hey, look, I'm going to take a week off in October just so I can get back on my mental and take care of business as I need to, and then kind of get back into trading. So totally agree with you there. So I will be out the first week of October just to get back myself in terms of the market sense to trade. We've got about 2 minutes left on this 10-minute candle here on Tesla. Let me go to that. There you go. And looks like it is going to pop and stay above. So far, it's been kind of choppy for the past 40 minutes or so on this 10-minute candle. As the SPY itself has been choppy. To me, Apple is still the clear weak one, especially because Apple is down 3%, SPY is up overall. So that kind of tells you yes. What's the other question we had? Hey, Zunaid, is opt in the number of people selling contracts or I'm sorry, what? Open interest? Yeah. Is that what you're talking about?
I don't know. I think there's a typo in there. I don't understand it either.
Aaron, clarify that. We'd be happy to answer that one. Is number of people selling or the number of people holding options contract? If you're talking about open interest, it's how many contracts are open that people are holding on to. But again, I'm not sure what exactly it is that you're asking. Sorry.
We forgive you.
Let's see what else we've got so far. Yeah, it's not real time. It updates the next day. Dyslexia, my bad. No, you're good. I'm dyslexic too. No worries. But it does.
Go ahead.
It does update. So open interest is how many contracts are open coming into the trading day, which gets updated tomorrow. So if there's 1,000 open interest, that means 1,000 open contracts. And if the volume is another 1,000, then you don't know if the 1,000 that were open were closed or if you had additional open or open and closed. So then tomorrow you go ahead and see what the open interest ends up being. And that way, you know how many contracts were closed. But open interest is only real time at 9:30, and then it's not because trading has happened and open interest does not get updated till the next day. That being said, let me see how much I'm going to lose on this. I'm down about 4% on my Tesla calls. Excuse me, my Tesla puts. So I'm going to go ahead and get out of those. I got in at 1060, so I'm out at 1009. So I'm going to take an L there. And I'm looking at my P&L and I'm happy. I'm down now. Thank you. But I'm happy with how down I am, if that makes any sense at all. Let's see if the market's going to try to make a move to the highs.
Let me take this question here real quick.
Please.
Tom asks, is it better to buy something that has an open interest of 20 or 30,000 or something with just 1,000? So there's no direct way to answer that. The one thing that I will say is that if the contract has open interest, you're likely going to be able to trade that contract. If you compare that to something that has like 100 in the open interest, the spread might be insane, and you might not be able to liquidate those contracts even if the stock moves in the direction that you want. You might have to wait for the actual market maker to be on the bid to absorb your liquidating order, excuse me. As far as trading those contracts when there's 20 or 30,000 in there, that you can get in and out of those, but they might not move with the same velocity that you're hoping for. So everything is going to be a trade-off. Generally speaking, I don't like to trade contracts that have no activity in them, because even if that works, I'm not going to be able to get out of it, or I'm not going to get the price that I hoped. So that's a pretty good question. That's something that you can watch too. You can observe what the spreads are, observe how the contract actually moves, and then compare it versus the open interest that contract has. Nathan asks, what tier of Benzinga do you guys use? Nathan, I use Benzinga Pro Essential. So everything is real time. By the way, in all of the Benzinga Pro levels, the news is always real time. All right. It doesn't matter if you get the basic, the news is always real time. The real time upcharge is something that we have to pass along because it costs us money to license that data from the exchange. That's only for price quoting. So I use the Essential program. The Options Mentorship program might be better if you're trying to learn option trading.
Yeah, same here. I use the Essential that's what I've got. Even before I worked here, I used the Essential in the past, and just the new Squawk was worth it to me. And I know we're looking to make new improvements all day, every day as well.
Zunaid, you hit it right on the head. I was a 5-year customer of Benzinga Pro before working here, and the thing that pushed me over the edge was the Squawk. I tried out several different news services. The one that I liked the most was the one here on Benzinga Pro. Aaron is asking Ryan, for the unusual option scanner on Benzinga Pro, you can't tell if it's a buy or a sell order, that it's just an order at that strike price. That's correct. We do not have debit and credit information from the exchange, so we cannot say with certainty whether the transaction was open or closed. This is also where open interest comes into play. If you see a 10,000 contract order on a strike and expiry that has only 900 contracts being held open, you can automatically deduce that that is a new opening order and probably bullish, depending on what else is going on. Great
question. What you don't know is if they wrote or bought, right? Because that's where you kind of have to look at the open interest, and like you said, the next day, and to kind of deduce where the stock was at that time when the trade happened and where it is now. SPY, by the way, looking to come back to the highs. I think someone asked, how do you tell the open interest change? I'm sure there's a website out there that helps you with that. But what I like to do is I look at
interest changes.
Yeah, I like to look at, I guess I'm doing it too old school then. I look at, hey, I'm interested in the stock. What's the open interest on this strike price that I saw? Cool, about 2,000. Awesome. I write it down. The next day I come back and take a look and see what the open interest is on that. But obviously be smart. And it looks like there's a website out there that Ryan may know about.
I don't use it, but there are websites out there that track open interest changes. Let me see it. Let me see if I can Google it real quick here.
To the point where I even want the reason.
Here we go.
What's up? What you got?
Here we go. This is so our friend, first of all, Bar Chart's got a really good one. I love Bar Chart, by the way. They're friends of Benzinga. There's a bunch of great guys over there. Definitely check it out. I literally Googled open interest change, and this was one of the first things, right? So here's an options change in open interest. This is going to give you some ability to screen and filter. This would be a good website if you're going to monitor those things.
Perfect. I was going to say something else, but I forgot. Apple calls are working out. Yeah, when it got above VWAP, and we talked about that 145 basing, right? And that's why I kind of liked it. I just wasn't sure what the market itself was going to do, but I'm glad you were able to kind of play out the Apple to the long side. And now, of course, keep in mind that you've got to stay above this 365 and break the 366 on SPY to get more momentum to the upside. To me, Apple is still the weaker name. I'd rather be in a Tesla long, if anything. But whatever works for you. Hey, if you're making money, who cares? There's something else I was going to answer. I forgot. I don't remember now. But anyway, let's see what else we've got going on. Oh, Voodoo, I think you said you're going to send me an email. Yeah, looking forward to that email, man. Let's see what else we got. AMD above VWAP once again. Everything should be above VWAP. Yep. Nvidia looking strong as well.
Pac B breaking out. That's interesting.
Amazon looking to go above the days high. Blinked out there for a sec. So keep an eye on that. If the market pushes, Amazon can continue to the upside here as well, especially because it's got that 30-minute opening range.
Yes, Becca, I am still watching Apron. I've actually been watching this quite a bit. Volume was not enough today to put it on the scanner early, but it does look like it's moving here. We actually just took out this high. Now, it hasn't had the juice yet, so we'll see if it ends up gearing up a little bit more. Do have 550 as the pre-market high here, so that to me, it looks like that's next here. Not in Apron, have not traded it today, but yes, I am watching this.
By the way, you know how many Rice Krispie treats I had yesterday?
17.
9. It was just, oh my God.
9 times you ate a Rice Krispie treat.
I was so upset as I was eating it.
Oh, man.
It was bad. It was bad. This is why you can't have nice things in life, man. Or at least I can. As SPY, new highs.
Yep. Good call there. LGVN might be curling here.
Yeah, Paul, I had 9. I only bought them so that I can eat them before a workout to give me the energy boost and the simple carbs and all of that. But then I'm like, oh, one more won't hurt. Oh, one more won't hurt. And lo and behold, I had 9.
Well, when one more turns into 7, that's normally where the trouble is. That works with Rice Krispie treat. That works with beers, drinks, pizzas. I mean, all of it.
Yeah, I know. Let's see. We need a base above 365 and of course crack 366 and make our march towards the upside. Would not be surprised if we hit it's 369s on the SPY as you get more continuation. Now Tesla is looking to go red to green as it's about 50 cents away from that. Let's go.
Okay, so this is
What
I have
happened?
something to talk. Okay, Crassy is saying my personal problem with Costco size candy boxes. So okay, I totally get it. One thing that I will say about being a Costco, I'm just gonna go there. I'm a Costco pro at this point. One of the things about Costco is when you buy, first of all, try not to buy candy if you're trying to be healthy, especially at Costco, because like Zunaid said, it's just going to sit around. You're just going to want to eat it all day. I do have a pro tip for you. You can buy things that then come individually wrapped. So actually, I have an example for you. Zunaid, hold down the fort for 20 seconds while I grab this real quick.
Sure, no problem. You've got Tesla looking to make new highs as it approaches a 30-minute range breakout to the upside. You've got Apple now approaching the 147.11, and SPY is continuing to make new highs as it's trading at 366.10. And so that's been a nice little move to the upside. We'll see if we can get that continuation move on Tesla or not, or if the previous close ends up being resistance as it was in the first 10 minutes of this market. You can see it went from 280.94 to the downside. And Ryan, what do you have for us?
Okay, so I'm going to go full screen briefly. Here is an example of something that I got at Costco. Peanut butter and chocolate mix. Now, look at the size of this bag. Okay, this is a gigantic bag. If this mix was alone, just open in this bag, I would be in humongous trouble. Because what would happen is I would just start eating some, or I'd put some into a cup, and then I would continue to go back and I would just keep eating it and eating it and eating it. But here's the thing. When you're at Costco, when you're looking for stuff like this, get something where they come individually packaged, right? So now there's an individual package, shouldn't be upside down. This is much more manageable. It's much more easy to control your portions and not sit in front of a sports game and destroy an entire bag of peanut butter and chocolate mix. So the pro tip here is that when you're looking for some of these snacks at Costco, I would highly advise that you look for things that are individually wrapped. Moving that bag caused Buddy to get up and he wants to see what's going on. Buddy is checking out the peanut butter stuff. So
it's
anyway,
cute. It's cute that Ryan thinks that'll stop me from just eating all of it. Buddy, I've been working out. I can rip those bags up easily.
No, that's what I'm saying. I know that you can. I wasn't saying that you couldn't. It's not a fail safe, but it helps. When you finish one bag,
agree.
you think to yourself,
it helps because you can't also just scoop it and just, eat it like peanuts.
If you can scoop the snacks, you don't even have to eat them. You can drink them at some point. And it's just when you start getting down that road, it's bad news.
Yeah, you should see me eating Bunch and Crunch. That's pretty much how I do it, like soup. But anyway, here's Tesla made new highs, and then now it's testing the previous close. So we'll see if that acts as support or not. But I would not be surprised if if SPY wants to come back and test the 365s. And then maybe make a move to the upside if it wanted to. But that's the movement that we've got so far on SPY. As it's made new highs, cracked above. Apple now staying a little bit strong as well. And then let's see what else we've got. Something or more important than stocks like Costco. Oh yeah, 100%. Oh, speaking of which, I went to here. Let me see.
Oh
People
my
were
God,
judging.
ABOS.
What is it?
ABOS, we're doing that curl here. We moved through 824 going to be your next level. It actually already tried to go through 824. This is one that we talked about early. We've been watching it, been waiting for it to set up again. Looks like that setup might be here now. We did move through 8. We've got the next level here at 824. Now we popped above that briefly on the previous 1 minute candle here. We got as high as 828. So we popped 4 cents above it. I got to think, and then it yanked all the way back down. I got to think that this next move through is probably going to be stronger. I wouldn't be surprised if this consolidated a little bit before making that move. Looks like they're bringing bids in under this, but they're not huge. They're still kind of small. So watching ABOS here on a break of, there we go, right over that high. Man, that happened fast.
My bad. I was looking at something else.
Yeah, I'm okay. So I'm not in this. I was a little slow on that order because I was talking about it. Here we go. We've got 847 the high. We're going right there. See in this area here, it's definitely spread out a little bit more now. It's going to be much harder to trade, but they're still bringing in bids. If you get green on this trade, take it. We've already seen this thing pull back multiple times. We don't want to sit through another one. See if we can take out 847 here. Looks like it's going to try.
That's the high.
There it goes through. There it goes. There's your pop. Man, this was a big move. You've got 50 cents here on this move right through 8. We're pulling back here now a little bit. I've got 864 as your day high.
Come on. Oh, there it is. 864. Oh, did crack. You touch it again. I'm going to go to the 1 minute here for more anxiety.
There's more bids being brought in at 850. They're stacking them too. I would say if you're still in this and it does break 864, definitely trim some.
SPY did break above that 366 level. Now it's looking to hold. If it can base above that, I think we can go ahead and see continuation to the upside.
So this consolidation here is not bad as long as it stays. If this starts to break down back towards that 824 level, that would be a concern, or at least a short-term concern. Looks like we're going to make another run here at 864. There it is. Went right to it again, printed some. It's going to fall here. Boom. Woo! Big pop right through there.
Nice. Nice call out there.
Yeah, let's see if they yank this back down, though. Zunaid, I saw it curling. It was still on the relative volume scanner. We were approaching that level. This is what I mean. If you have the plan drawn out, you can execute when time is short. Voodoo, you guys can always send me an email. I love talking stocks, talking market, emotions, all of that. You are more than welcome to send me an email. Went ahead and posted it in the chat. Love talking to the community, so feel free.
Come on, market. Let's get to the highs. Let's get to the 370s if we can. Why not? But again, basing over 366 to me is important. And, you know, the game plan for me, I am not in ABOS, but if I were to try to trade this one, I would try to go ahead and scale in closer to $8 if I can. My risk would be about 50 cents, and I would look to get 50 cents at least out of this trade. And again, it has pre-market highs of 10s. So, dip. It's kind of going back and forth. Went from 860s to like 913s, and back and forth it goes. So you can see there's volatility in this one clearly. But around $8 is where I think you can have a good risk reward on this trade on ABOS. Bum, 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 bum. Yeah, see, look, let me go ahead and mark this area here that's holding on to it.
ALZN might be curling here. Frey back on the relative value. Frey has been real strong. I got to make it a point to watch Frey more, at least check on it in the morning here. Tops, big pullback here. How's Biogen doing? Biogen straight down from the open. This is one of the things that we talked about, right? So we wanted to see how this actually moved. Wanted to see if we could actually break out of this area that we had here in the pre-market. We didn't. Now we're holding here. We're holding higher here, still up 71 points, but not breaking out here and below VWAP.
All right, that 366 holding so far, and there it is, a pop to the upside on the SPY, now making its ways towards the 367s. I have to get ready for an interview, so bear with me here as I find some of the... But a nice pop above that 367. Now you're a whole point in the money on that trade. So that's looking good. So if you played that 366 as resistance, turned into support, as you can clearly see, you got a point. Let's see if it gives you more. Possibly go ahead and get 368s. I would not be surprised if we saw within the range of 369 to 370 sometime today.
370 should be resistance.
Oh, yeah. Your 370.25 is what I've got. But, yeah, 370.50 also can be it. So I'd say within that 370.50 to 370 range, flip that around however you want to do it. Would not be surprised if we go ahead and test that today, if not this week. Or this week, if not today. See? All over the place. I did a huge gamble and played a 365 swing last night. Happy day. Well, you look happy, but you also look sad with that emoji. I am glad it worked out for you, but I hope you understand that you keep playing those dangerous games and you won't be funded to continue participating in the market. So be careful, but I'm happy it worked out for you this time. Bum, 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 bum,
Hey, buddy.
bum, 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 bum. Sweating emoji. Yeah, it was sweating like you eat butter chicken. Spicy butter chicken at that. Come on, Spy. You gonna hold a 366 or what?
What are you doing? I don't know if that's the right move. All right, let's get back to the scanner here.
Data was enough to kill me. Yeah, and that's the thing, especially if you're swinging weeklies, you got to have, Ryan mentioned this greatly, you got to have the perfect execution, not just direction-wise, but time-wise as well, to go ahead and make money on that one. PHAS, any news? PHAS, let's see.
Yeah, let's take a look. That has not been on my radar at all today. I mean, it's 28 cents.
Company announced they received a notice that its partner SFJ Pharmaceuticals Group elected to transfer some B word I can't pronounce rights to failed. Yeah, something there. You want to read that one here? I can.
Yeah, Phase Bio shares are trading lower. If the company announced it received a notice that its partner SJF Pharmaceutical Group elected to transfer bentrasimab rights to SFJ as Phase Bio failed to remedy its going concern condition. So it looks like the rights, I think this is a drug, I would guess, has been given to the other company. We also had a downgrade here. William Blair downgraded Phase Bio to market perform. So it looks like the combination of those things are resulting in your 63% haircut.
Yep, I can't read, but I can copy and paste. So I pasted that in the chat if you want to go ahead and take a look at that. Oh, in about 5 minutes, I'll go get ready for my interview and then come back. Oh, my goodness.
I should probably go to the bathroom today before you do that.
Yeah, go ahead, bro. I got it.
Yeah, let me do that real quick.
I'll
Sorry,
just end the
coffee's
stream.
running through me like a laser beam.
Puts on that. Could have gone many different directions with that one. I'm not gonna lie. Let's see. You've got SPY testing the 366 area one more time. So I've got a flight out tomorrow, right, Chad? I'm going to LA, which is about a 5-hour flight. And I'm stuck in the middle seat. That's what they booked for me. And I'm thinking about switching my flights. Or excuse me, I'm thinking about switching my seats from a middle seat to like a window seat. And it's going to cost me $80. And I don't know if I should do it.
Those middle seats are killer, but $80 is steep. What
airline? But it's a Delta. Delta.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where it's like a 5-hour flight, so I might just do it.
Yeah, I feel
you know.
I feel you on that.
Yeah. Let's see, because everything else is just not available, and I don't want to risk going there and being like, "Can you please do it?" And they're like, "Sorry, we're full." It's like, "Ah, shoot."
See what the upgrade is to first class. ABOS, by the way, ABOS going for that 190 high a day. Actually, it printed a little at 191, but it was pretty negligible. 890 looks to be that high. Looks like it actually popped to 917 earlier. I wouldn't be surprised if this popped through 9 again. ABOS looks like this is setting up again here.
Yeah, but
ABOS, here we go.
Move to 8. Is it going to pop above? Let's see what the highs are. Mark the highs right here for us.
There's a big seller at 9. Tried the first time, might try it on the second time through here. I have a real tight stop on this and reduced size, by the way. I'm going to try some here. Come on, pop through 9 here. Big seller there. See if they don't take it out. 880 is going to be my stop if it falls here. Boom, pop right through. Let's go. Close it. Let me try to get, come on, get 10. There we go. Got 10. All right.
Nice.
So right through 9 there on ABOS. That was, it wasn't much there, reduced size, but that move, we were able to telegraph that one. Again. Have it set up before. Do this before. This is why I use movers prior to the market opening. And then when I see the confirmation of that relative volume on the scanner, I go ahead and trade those. Looks like we're pulling back here. So we really only got to pop. Oh, nope. Right back to 9. They're refreshing the seller at 9. They cleared them out again. This might go higher here, folks.
It's amazing how you can read that level 2. I cannot read it.
A lot of practice, a lot of losses that are able to help me read that.
Yeah, I cannot read that.
Years, man. Took years. And the other thing here is that you're not always right. Like, I'll get faked out looking at this. Happens all the time. I take losses on the show all the time. Nothing is perfect. Nothing in this business is perfect. How you protect your capital or how you protect your treasure, as some people say, that's going to determine whether or not you're going to be able to move forward and stack those profits. See if we can bust above 910 here again.
Yep, and then you've also got new highs on SPY. Bum, 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 bum. Come on, what are we gonna do here? What am I gonna do here? What am I gonna do here? How much is SPY up compared to that? Yep, I'm gonna go ahead. So let's call. Lock in the gains. Sorry, I'm just taking some profits here.
This is a great question.
What's up?
Jessica gets it. That's funny joke there. Okay, Chris, this is a great question here. When you say refresh the seller, can you explain that? Yes, absolutely, Chris. So a refresh seller is you'll sometimes see a stock push up to the level. What we were seeing here at 9 on ABOS. When the stock pushes up to that level, you'll see a bunch of sellers sitting there on the ask. When that sell block gets cleared out, the stock pops above it. That's actually what just happened here. We actually went up to what, look, 917 it looks like. And then when it came back down beneath that level and popped back to 9, there was a new seller there. Or in this case, a refresh seller, right? They put more stock for sale at 9, even after it got cleared out. So a lot of the times you'll see some of these levels. They'll get cleared, the stock will pop above, and then it'll come back and you'll see another seller in there. Obviously, the longer that keeps up, the more it's going to depress the stock. But if that seller keeps putting more stock there and that stock keeps getting bought, that can lead to another pop higher or a higher magnitude of the pop higher. So that's what I mean by refresh seller. Seller keeps putting more stock for sale available at the same level.
There's another move to the upside on SPY. That one is green bean. And look.
Green bean.
Yeah, green bean. Oh, yeah. Sometimes I say green bean, eat your veggies, but then people get cringe. So I try to leave that last part out. But look, we talked about the 366 level. Okay. ended up being resistance right here, right? Then it finally popped above, and that resistance turned into support. I mean, look how it based, and we said it needs to base over 366 and then get a move above, and now you got a whole 1.5 above it. So we'll see if it continues moving higher or not, but like that's the biggest thing. If you're new, if you're struggling, just go ahead and take a look at support resistance areas, not just the tick, not just a number, and those will go ahead and help you out tremendously. As AB right on cue to help us out here. It comes on. He doesn't have his webcam on at the moment, so I can't embarrass him just yet. But all right, Slack from Sultan, and yeah, there's SPY. So just kind of keep that in mind. Popped above, based, continuing to the upside. And yeah, I got to read. I think that's definitely something. If I could read the level 2, I want to believe that I'd be a better trader. But I just, man, things are happening so fast that I'm already on cocaine as it seems, as it is. And that just is a little too much happening for my brain to comprehend. Bum 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 bum. What are you locked in on?
I was just reading stuff here in Slack.
Okay.
One of my teammates is asking for some help here. Okay.
Oh, you're good. No worries. As soon as AB puts his webcam on, we can get some help, and I can go get ready for this interview, which is at 11:05, I believe.
You know, the one thing that I wanted to say about reading that level 2, it's more practice and experience than secrets.
Of course.
You know, Mitch has given you some really good secrets. You know, wait till you see some of those big orders flow through there. That generally gives you an idea of momentum. That's good stuff. But the more you watch it, and the more you watch the patterns on certain stocks in certain price ranges, the more of a feel you'll have for it. So even if you're not trading, just watch it. I think every broker at this point has level 2 included in it in some way. So even if you're not trading, if it's a rough day, if you're out of day trades, I know a lot of people are talking about being under the pattern day trader. If you're out of day trades, if you're just watching it, if you're in any type of due diligence situation or anything like that, you know, just watch the level 2, watch the patterns that you see, because you'll start to see the same thing happen again, and you'll be able to remember what happened the last time. It should give you more of a chance to play those correctly. So even if you're not trading it, there's still benefit to be had.
Yeah, absolutely. I hear you on that. AB. All right, AB's going to hop in about 2 to 3 minutes, and then I'll head out. Hey, Z, hearing your concern about a plane ticket price is inspiring, knowing you make good money. What helps you be so frugal? I almost said because I'm brown, but I don't know if I'd get canceled. But here I am saying it anyway. For me, I've always been kind of like a value guy, right? So here's my thing. I drive a 2004 vehicle that I have had since college, which was way back in like 2010 or whatever, right? My PC is worth more than my car. And for me, I'm a big value guy. So it's like, I don't want to overpay for things, which is why I haven't bought a car, because of the way the market is and different things like that. So to me, it's just like, is it worth it or not? So the way that I break it down, believe it or not, is I'm going to pay $80, which I am going to do. I'm going to pay $80 to go ahead and have the convenience of flying comfortably and not just be stuck in the middle. That comes out to about $17 an hour for me. Right. And it's like, you know what? That is worth me having convenience and being able to sleep and work properly and enjoying my flight and not being frustrated. And the last thing I'll say is, I look at a situation anytime and be like, hey, would I pay X amount to take care of this problem after I've dealt with the problem? Right. And it's like, would I be stuck in that middle seat and be like, man, I'd totally pay $80 to get out of it? It's like, cool. You have the chance to get out of that situation. Here you go. So that's how I kind of look at it. But
I'd add,
I don't know if that makes sense, but
yeah, I would add to this. Some of the habits that I picked up from other wealthy individuals that I've met, worked with, been mentored by, friends with, they all share the same common trait, and that's that they don't just blow money on anything. It doesn't matter if they're a millionaire, a multimillionaire, on their way to a billionaire. These people don't waste money. They were able to save up and generate that money by not wasting it along the way. So to me, when you know, just because someone makes money doesn't mean that they need to be spending hand over fist. If they're doing that, they might not be wealthy for very long. So in this case, you know, Zunaid I love what he just did there. He just broke it down for you about how he looks at it and how he does that calculus in his mind. You know, it's only $80. Is that going to break me? Let me figure it in terms of the per hour cost that I'm going to have, probably comparing that to some other things. So I'm the same way. This is the reason I don't DoorDash. One of the 2 reasons I don't DoorDash. I'll just go pick it up myself and save some money. That's easy for me to do. Not upgrading it like right now. My car was a car from 2017. It'd be cool to upgrade it. It's 5 years old. I know Zunaid's situation is a little different here. It'd be cool to upgrade it, but why on earth would I go buy a car where I'm going to be paying an elevated interest rate right now? There's nothing wrong with my car. I'm not trying to impress anybody. So having good spending habits is going to dovetail with being able to make money. If you're going to be able to do both, you're really going to be able to grow your balance.
Yeah. And then going back to the value thing, like the reason I still have my old car is because it has less than 100,000 miles on it. So it's like, I don't have to worry about maintenance. It's paid off. Insurance is cheap on it, this, that, the other. And, you know, it's just, and of course, during COVID, I wasn't going anywhere. And now most of my travel is done through my esports gigs where they pay for the travel and things like that. So like, I don't really have to worry about expenses in that term. So, you know, it works out. But question, when you're watching options and notice a 1-tick volume bar worth 10,000 contracts on an option with previous open interest of 0, is it safe to say that they went long that position? No, not necessarily, because what if they wrote it, right? What if they wrote 10,000 contracts, which would then be a bearish position? So no, not really. The best way that I can tell you is to keep an eye on, if you may see one bar, right? But if you have something like Benzinga Pro where you can see those options coming in, keep an eye and see if those option contracts went up. So if the call option price went up from $1, $2, $3, $4, they're making it more expensive for you to buy more. To me, then it's a bullish position. If it's a call option that price continues to go up, it's on the ask, and the IV goes up as well. Not 100%, but it's an indication to me of a long position. Whereas if you see the call price going down, making it seem like, hey, you got to go ahead and sell those calls at a cheaper value, to me, that's a bearish position. So, and also keep an eye on the spot price as well. So if that transaction happened when the stock was at $10, how did it behave 5-10 minutes afterwards? And that'll give you an inkling as well, as you've got ABOS making new highs, 944. It said, forget your $8 buy-in. Now, if I'm in this position, or I'm not, by the way, but if I was looking to get in this one, I would wait for a pullback. Maybe around 850. The closer you get to 850 is the better. The crack of $8, you're out of there. You're risking about $10. I would not be surprised if this hits around $10. Because that's where the pre-market high is, around the 993. Is it 993? Yes, it is. AB, give me a thumbs up when you're ready to go, so I don't get you in trouble like yesterday.
He's already in. He's fine. He's not
there you are.
What's up?
Real
right,
quick,
I'm gonna go get ready. What's up?
NNOX looks like this is going to move through 1250 here. That was near our pre-market high. NNOX. This actually might pop and move here. It'd be interesting to see. We've got some pretty good room up too if we're able to get some movement here. So NNOX looks like this is setting up.
All right. Let's see in the chat what everyone else is watching. Oh, I haven't just looked at Funware in a while.
Yeah, neither have I actually. Let me pull that up here.
I wonder what it's at.
At $1.31, spiking on volume here today, above yesterday's high.
I've really just been watching, I know it's boring, but I've just been watching just the Qs and SPY today. Of course, you had that Apple news came in last night, hit futures, and this morning we were trading down. Apple was down like more than 4% at one point. How's Apple doing right now, Ryan?
It's holding in there, 146. It's up off the lows here, but it's holding right at about where it's consolidating in the pre-market.
What I'm worried about here with Apple is we're getting all these kind of warnings that the iPhone demand might not be there this cycle. And we still got earnings coming up. We're going to have another earnings cycle. So I'm kind of, as far as my more like long to medium term positions, I'm kind of holding off on adding to some of them until we get that earnings cycle. But I did see an interesting report that shows that typically markets bottom before an earnings cycle. We just don't know. That could be this earnings cycle. That could be next one. Who knows?
Yeah, I don't know that we get the market bottom in the near future here. As far as Apple's earnings, we have an unconfirmed, meaning that we're forecasting the earnings date to be on or around the 27th of October. So you're absolutely right, AB. It's less than a month away now at this point. 27 is a Thursday, so that could absolutely be the day Apple loves to report on Thursday after hours.
Yeah, and who knows? I mean, a lot of people expecting 3 months ago when we went into, or a couple months ago when we started our last earnings cycle, that there were going to be misses across the board, and that's not actually what happened. So we shall see. I do, like I said, I'm waiting until this next earnings cycle because I am cautious.
Yeah. Well, one of the things that I talked about earlier here, AB, is one of the things that I used to do all the time on Apple was when we would hear this type of news catalyst frequently. Channel checks indicate that demand for iPhones is down. This X region is not selling as many as anticipated, blah, 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 blah. When the market was in a different position, when it was in a different phase, you would be able to buy that sell-off on Apple. And you'd be able to do this with calls. You can make some quick money often. I said today out the open, with everything that's going on, the supply chain woes, the semiconductor shortage, the overall condition of the market, where we're at with interest rates and all of that, I was like, I don't think this trade is going to work anymore. And I didn't take it. Now, we did get a little bit of a bounce here earlier. I think there were a couple of people in the chat that took advantage of that. But the market conditions are different than when this trade worked for me in the past. And as a result, I have to change my style. I have to be wary of that. If I didn't, I'd probably be staring at a loss here on those calls.
Yeah, one trade idea with Apple that I like here with, finally we've been getting the VIX kind of popping up the past couple days. While volatility is a little bit higher, if you like Apple long term, you can pick a price you wouldn't mind owning it at. Say, oh, if Apple gets down to $100 flat, and start selling those puts. And then if it gets down there, if you have to have enough money to buy 100 shares is the big issue. I personally don't, but if you do, then you could sell those puts, make some extra cash, and then if the stock gets down there again, then that's when you enter that position. So something like that on a quote unquote safer stock. Of course, there's no stock that's truly safe, but a safer stock like Apple could be interesting.
Oh, wow. PBTF. Oh, because this is just a penny stock. This popped into a halt. We're open here. We're kind of retracing some of the stick. Notice that on my scanner there.
A little sell off in the queues here the past couple minutes too.
AB, I'm going to get rolling here and get on with my day and my daily tasks here. Are you okay to close the show out here for us today?
Yeah, I believe so. We've got Zunaid hanging back out in the background, so I'll give him a few more minutes. When he lets me know he's ready, we'll bring him back in. But yeah, Ryan, let me get 1 second to pull up my Benzinga Pro.
Yep,
You're good.
all good.
I got it.
Oh,
You go. You pull yours up.
Hey,
I can go ahead and share my
sharp.
chart. Oh, thank you. Yeah. Just trying to get my Steve Jobs look on. You know what I mean? Except he wore turtlenecks. That's not what this is, but you get the point.
All right, folks. Have a great one. Stay green. Stay safe. We'll be back at this tomorrow. Take care, everybody.
See ya.
Hell yeah, Ryan. Have a good day.
We'll have that interview for you guys in about 3 to 4 minutes. But a main thing right now that I'm taking a look at, AB, is SPY. We talked about the 366 level being resistance, which we saw in the first 40 minutes. It was. Now it's turning to support. But we'll see if that support holds here or not. If you're interested in the long, you've got Tesla that's approaching VWAP here as well. Let's see what Apple is doing as it approaches the 146 area. That's below VWAP. So if the SPY goes ahead and cracks this 366, would not be surprised if it makes a visit to 364.60s, which is going to be near VWAP.
If you say so. All right, Zunaid, I got a question for you.
Please.
All right. So last week, I talked about this on Benzinga Live. So last week was the 1-year high for bearish sentiment in the retail. And first of all, I want to say what I don't understand about, I see all these like bearish doom and gloom posts on Twitter and whatnot. And these kind of wannabe Michael Burry contrarians. Here's what I don't understand. They're still acting like they're contrarians. I saw this dude today posting a huge thing about how, the stocks haven't fallen enough. And he says, wake the F up on this tweet. And it's like, who is he talking to? Wake up. The majority of people are already bearish. So my question to you, Zunaid, is this survey was the week ending in September 21st. So the new survey we'll get for this week, these past 7 days, we'll get tonight, tomorrow. Do you think people will be more bearish or less bearish than last week?
If I had to bet your money on it, I would say that the indication of the sentiment would end up being more bearish, simply because we've dropped all the way from here. Let's go to the SPY on this one. We've dropped from 388s all the way to new lows, or excuse me, we've dropped. Oh, actually, it's been a kind of like a doji candle, huh? I'm not sure, since this is just so. What? Tell me the dates again for the survey that's going to come out.
So it'll be this past week. Like, so look, so they do it every week. So week ending in September 21st was last week's that came out last Thursday. This Thursday's, tomorrow's will be the past 7 days. So from last Thursday,
22nd through the 27th.
Or so say from last Wednesday to this Wednesday.
Yeah.
To today.
I would not be surprised if that number goes to about 64, 65%.
Yeah.
64, 65% bearish. But I just give me a minute here while I get ready for the interview. Let me go ahead and copy that. Give me 1 second here, pal.
No problem. Catching up on the chat. Let me know what you guys are trading, watching today. On Benzinga Live, we will have Jason Krutsky.
Don't share my screen here, yeah?
Oh, you want me to share your screen?
I will literally fire you. I don't have the oh, really? What is wrong with you? Why are you like this?
Oh, man. All right, I'll share my screen back. Let's go to my Benzinga Pro. We'll do that.
A sec here, bro.
So I agree with what Ryan was saying earlier, that typically in the past, any weakness in Apple is a buying opportunity, but right now the market environment is different than it has been. Oh, wow, nice little bounce on the SPY here. Look at this look at it.
Was it from 366? Tell me I'm a genius if it's 366.
I don't know, man. It went down to 366.16.
There you go.
Are you gonna count that?
What do you mean? Come on, FLGC.
So high of the day, 367.50 on the dot, 367.09 right now. So we need to get above 367.50 to make new highs of the day. Looks like we're trying to get up there, but again, S&P 500 was trading off this morning, last night on the futures after the news from from Bloomberg, that Apple's not going to ramp up production for the iPhone amongst weak demand. Actually, some analysts, interesting enough, I know from Morgan Stanley, came out and kind of put out a report saying, hey, that report from Bloomberg sounded really bad. And while it might not be great, it's not that big of a deal. And they kind of laid out why, different lead times for the iPhones, indicating that there actually is some strong demand there. But Apple, as you can see, still trading off, down 3.3% today. If we go to it on a 5-minute chart, you can see that Apple currently is off its lows of the day. Got a nice little bounce here, about 1%, going down from 144. We hit on the day up to 147 right here. So a couple bucks there.
Awesome.
All righty, guys. I'm going to go ahead and hand it back over to Zunaid. But thank you to Zunaid, Ryan, Mitch for letting me hop in with you guys. Always fun. If you want more, go ahead and give me a follow on Twitter at AaronBree5. I'll put that in the chat.
Appreciate that. Yeah, go ahead and hang out in the back, and then after the interview, we can go ahead and chat it up a little bit more if you would like. But appreciate all of you guys hang out. We're going to do the interview, then we'll come back to some stocks and discuss the things, especially the movement in the market. But I do want to go ahead and bring on Year, I believe is how I'm looking to pronounce it, but you can go ahead and tell me if that's incorrect. Don't fire me, though. Don't give me a negative feedback if I mispronounce that. But the CEO and co-founder of NAYX, ticker is NYAX. How do you pronounce your name, just so I don't butcher it anymore?
It's very hard to. Hi, thank you for hosting me. My name is Yair, which is very hard to Yair, which is very hard to pronounce, but that's okay. You pronounce it's okay. Yair Nakmad.
Yair. Okay, I'm gonna try to go ahead and pronounce it. I got it. I'm gonna nail that one. But we appreciate you coming on, especially because you are a newly company listed on the American Stock Exchange as well. So let's kind of start with the basics. Explain it to me like I'm 5. What is it that your company does?
So actually, we're doing a very simple task in terms of what we deliver to the market is helping customers to succeed. We're dealing with unattended business, retail business, like the vending machines, the car wash, the laundromat, all of this market. It's more than 40 million machines around the globe. and we started 2005, and we're doing a one-stop solution for all of the above regarding the hardware, services, payment facilitating, and creating our customers succeed with the operational excellence and increasing their growth with the digital payment.
Gotcha. So vending machines, car washes, different things like that, payment processing looks like what you guys do. You've been private for so long. Why the decision to go public now?
So actually, we went public in last year in the TASE, in the stock exchange here in Israel, in Tel Aviv. And this was the first step, and we always looking for going to the global market in the US market, which is a quite common practice as a global company. Since we've been a bootstrap operating three partners, David, my partner CTO, and myself and my brother, we decided to start practicing being public in the TASE, which was very success from our perspective. To see how it is, and then to move to the US stock exchange, which we choose the Nasdaq.
Gotcha. And what do you like? I guess I should have clarified. Why list on the US side of things? Is it more so because you're looking to get more exposure, more investors, and like what are you looking to do with the funds there?
Yeah, we'd like to have a much more, but we are global. We are 95% of our sales are outside of Israel. Like 40% in Europe, 40% in US, and the rest of it out, rest of the world. So we're actually acting as a global company, and of course the exposure that we want to have is much broader than what we're having over here in Israel. By the way, we did with the Jeffries, the IPO over here. It was global offering, which we're having more than 50% of our shareholders are American. So we've been exposed to all the global players that can be investing in the Israeli stock exchange, but not all of them can do it. And now we can be much more in terms of broader our liquidity and more shares to be in the offer for the US market.
Gotcha. Now, when it comes to like, I use Apple Pay quite often, right? So if I'm going to the convenience store, to me, it's right there, boom, done. I'm in and out of it. Would you say services such as Apple Pay, Samsung Pay, Google Pay, Square has their own thing. Would you say those are more of a competitors of yours, or are they kind of embedded in your payment processor so you work hand in hand? How does that work for y'all?
So you have to distinguish Apple Pay and Google Pay is actually it's a replacement of the card. It's the ID, basically how you present yourself with ID with a card or with your mobile. So they're not really a competitor from our perspective. We accept them in all our terminals. We accept Google Pay, Apple Pay, WeChat, Alipay, PayPal, all of this alternative payment and open loop solution and a closed loop solution as well. And they are what we believe is the right thing to do, to offer a variety of offering. So they are not in any way of a competitor. We are using them, to really to broaden our audience, consumers, to help the customer to grow their business with multiple payment methods. So we are agnostic to any payment method, and that's the way that we're operating.
We have a thing here that our CEO, Jason Raznick, says. It's like you're the thing behind the thing. So it's like you kind of work with everything, right? You work with Apple Pay, and you don't have to really worry about them competing with you, but you're like, hey, we'll accept everyone, kind of like the Roku, if you will, in terms of payment processing and things like that. So you just got listed on, and I believe it was on March 31st, where you kind of grew offices in 8 different countries. You now have over 600 employees and things like that. That's where we are today. Let's talk about where you're hoping to be if you and I have a conversation in 6 months to a year. What is something that investors can kind of look forward to as your company continues to grow?
So we already state this to the investors, so I can share this with all the audience of this podcast. We're looking at the market in a different way. First, we have what we call the acquiring side, which we're doing in terms of accepting all the cards. But we have also initiative of what we call issuing card. We see the ability of Nayax to become what we call not just the acquiring side, the account receivable, also the account payable. So in 6 months from now, we have a startup that's starting running over here 2 months in Israel called CoinBridge. This will help us to bring what we call businesses, what we call virtual assets like points, air mile points, or cashback points, and to bridge this between these points to any posts around the globe to reach out to 200 million POS that exist on the rails of the Visa and Mastercard, and to bridge between the assets of the cashback points into the rails of the Visa and Mastercard. And this is a business that's untouched by anyone, and we wrote 6-7 patents behind this, and we believe this will be a breakthrough regarding how we have delivered to the market a big value that will help the customer to become much more oriented, focused, help them to help their consumers to become much more loyal. So, for example, look about the points that you're holding from United Airlines. You can use them maybe specifically for upgrade your seat or your boarding or something like this, but you cannot use them in Starbucks. So imagine that you can open your United Airlines mobile app and use your points as part of redemption in Starbucks, and the United Airlines don't have to do anything regarding contracting with Starbucks, because actually it's an EMV token that we are embedded with their United Airlines mobile app that enable this transaction to happen. And that's the beauty about what we can do in a seamless way to help United Airlines to create loyalty, much more loyal consumers behind their brand.
I love that you're talking about that, because I am a big credit card points individual, right? So I started to get credit card points like maybe 10 years ago. And so I'm always looking at credit cards and being like, hey, which one gives me the best points for travel, for dining, for gas station, different things like that. And yeah, it would be pretty cool if I can just go ahead and purchase something on Amazon, not with money, but more so with my Delta airline miles. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, this is the trick, and the idea is that actually it's a money of the Delta Airlines that's being distributed directly to the retailers, but you are just in the middle that doing the handshake with the EMV transaction from your mobile app, and that's the beauty about this. And we can run very fast on this, and we have like a big player that now in the list waiting for us to come live with this product. So
now
you see us in 6 months, you see us on the account receivable in one end and the account payable in the other end. And the idea that the focus of all of this is the loyalty. How can we help customers to become financial institution and help them to drive their consumers' loyalty into backing up to buying behavior in their four-wall in their store.
This is big, and I want to continue harping on this because 6 months is not that far away, and I love the idea. Tell me a little bit about in terms of how it'll help your financial balance sheet, right? How do you envision this project? 6 months is what you're hoping to achieve this in. How is it going to help your bottom line? Because ultimately, that's what investors want to know about as well.
So it's amazing because it's a purely SaaS business, and you know the margin on SaaS is like 80%, and that's what you can imagine. If you can imagine a take rate of, let's say, 150 or 200 basis points, imagine 80% of this going down, and imagine the TAM behind this. The TAM of just the loyal cards around US, for example, is more than $600 billion. This is the TAM. So let's imagine that we're taking, I don't know, 10% of this TAM, and we're taking a basis point, let's say 100 basis point as a margin. Yeah. You can imagine what will happen to the NICE regarding what I believe is the right action that we're taking.
I can tell you and your company are excited about it, especially because your face just lit up when we continue talking about this project, and I love seeing that. Let's talk about maybe some possible downside with the possible looming of a recession, depending on what your definition of is. None of that matters, but with slowing spending, with spending being slowed down in the consumer, are any concerns of any challenges you'll face for this 6-month outlook or with this project that you're seeing? Or if not that, then what challenges do you see being a speed bump in the next 6 months to slow down what you're looking to achieve here?
So you have to remember, we started let's see the market from the account receivable. The market is a long tail of moms and pops, small operators that carry maybe 20 machines. Each and every one of them is independent. We have more than 40,000 customers on the global level. We are acquiring more than 5,000 customers or 4,000 customers per quarter. This is a massive, what you call onboarding of businesses, and you have to do the KYC, the AML, the onboarding, the setting up. Everything has to be automated. We invested in the last 18 months. Almost all of our what you call raising of the money is spending regarding the automation of what we're doing. And this will be ending up this year, and we'll start to scale up all this operational to take us into the future of a 5,000, 6,000 customer base. Regarding your question, what hold us back is what is the moat regarding Nayax and how we are looking at this. Since we're dealing with the small customers, since we're dealing with FMCG, the fast-moving consumer goods, consumers are not really cutting back on this kind of vending machine tricks and what they're having on the vending machine. This is not really where the slowdown is coming. The slowdown is coming with whether you're buying a new house, or you're buying a new car, or you're holding some of the what you call the extra expenses. But this is like a very, very, very small items, like $2 items that the consumers are not really cutting back. And we saw this during the pandemic. Even during the pandemic, we are growing. Even the net retention was positive in terms of how we grow in the business. So we don't see any kind of a micro condition for the time being that will hold us back from keep on growing. We're growing for the last 10 years, more than 35% year over year, and we keep on growing. And we state this, the 35% growth will keep on being in Nayax for the next few years. So we're feeling very comfortable regarding the global expansion, the long tails of customers, the consumer habits behind the small ticket, and of course with the new novelty of some startups that we're coming, will keep us what you call in the right path to keep on growing 35% and more.
Yeah, no, and I like that you said that it's more so about the bigger items that the consumer is kind of hesitant to spend money on. But we've got a great question from the chat here. You talked about the ability to accumulate and use points across companies and platforms. It would be huge, of course. But is that patent protected? That technology? And if you could tell us a little bit about how.
Yes, we patent all the process of how we're doing this, and I can share this. Let's say the Delta airline or whoever it is has to update the application. The application update is carrying a SDK. The SDK is embedded into the mobile, and then we can reach out to the secure element of the phone. And basically, behind the scene, we have a platform with a policy. So every transaction that's happening now with the SDK, which is like a token that's starting a transaction, will reach out us as a issuer, because we are the issuer of this token. And from there, we can reach out to the policy owner, which could be Delta, whatever it is, and allow the transaction to flow. The ability of tracking between what you call virtual assets and the POS itself is done by this process that we're enabling this. We share this process with MasterCard, with Visa, with Discover. All of them are really acquainted to the way that we're operating, and the feeling that we're doing something that will help them to grow the business.
And just to be clear, it is not patent pending. It is protected. No. You're good to go. It's been granted. Right. Awesome. Well, look, this has been a fun interview. I've gotten a chance to know a lot more about your company than I did coming into it, but I want to turn the floor over to you since we've got a couple of minutes here. Is there anything that you were hoping to discuss with our viewers, or any questions you were hoping I would ask, any topics you want to discuss? The floor is kind of yours.
I have the idea and the philosophy to really help merchant to grow. I believe strongly on the small merchant, mid-sized merchant, that we can help them to grow the business. I believe in mostly on the loyalty part and the combination of excellence in this loyalty. And I see day in and day out how we can contribute to this. And if anyone in the audience has some ideas, I'll be happy to utilize his brain regarding what we can do, because we built a platform, and the idea behind this platform, we can always sense the market and accept any ideas and try to see what it fits to our customers, and then to utilize this to the market. That's how we grow the business as an entrepreneur, always listening to the customer voice.
Awesome. Appreciate the insight on that, and thank you so much for coming to hang out with us. And that is Yair, CEO and co-founder of Nayax, ticker is what is it? NYAX. Excuse me. I have to make sure I had that one there. I appreciate you coming on. Thank you once again. And I'm looking forward to that 6-month conversation, hopefully sooner, on any updates you have, because I do agree. I think the points thing is huge, especially as more and more care about those airline points and utilizing not being trapped with just for airline stuff, but using it at your Starbucks, your Amazons, and whatever else it might be. So I'm really excited for that technology and for that to go live for you guys. Good luck. Best of luck with that.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Take care. All right. That was good. That was some awesome insight that we had there. And I really am excited about that. I wasn't kidding. I think the payment stuff is cool, but I think the fact that you can go ahead and utilize your points from one area to another, right? Because I've got a ton of Chase Reward points, but it's like, if I'm not going to travel anytime soon, but I've got a couch I need to buy, if I can utilize, spending it towards that or spending it towards everyday things, that could be very beneficial. It just depends on, what the partnership ends up being and things like that. But I know we've got Mitch in the background, but I'm going to go ahead and share my charts here for a second. And then whenever Mitch is ready, he can bring himself on. But looking at the SPY is the main focus here. SPY, we talked about the level here. I'm going to go to the 1 minute just so you can see how beautifully this has worked out. We talked about the 366 level being of area of resistance. Boom, right there, 366. You saw it kind of come down. Now we know that that's resistance, so we need it to pop above. Once it pops above 366, we said we needed it to base above that level so that we can continue to the north side. And that's what you got. You got basing for about 10 minutes or so, 10 to 15 minutes, and then you got more of a movement, and then you had a level of about 367.55s. That was an area of resistance. So now you're kind of in this little range, consolidating buyers, sellers, back and forth, and then now you cracked above the previous level of resistance, which is 367.50s. To me, my target, I am, in some calls, so I am going to go ahead and scale out here in a minute. I obviously don't trade when I'm doing the interview, but now that I'm looking at this, I am going to scale out of half my position here. But I do believe we'll see 369s or 370s sometime today. But I don't want to be greedy and just go ahead and have all that, relying on that in case I'm wrong. Then I get angry. And you guys already know I've had a bad September. So I want to make sure I lock in gains at any chance I get. Before the interview, we told you, hey, take a look at Tesla, because the best risk reward was on Tesla, because as it was near VWAP. And there you can see right around 11:01, about 4 minutes before the interview started. That's when we told you. And you can see you've got yourself a beautiful move back above, going green from red. And now you've got yourself a nice $4 move on Tesla as well. So my concentration for the rest of this week, but also for the last quarter, is strictly going to be risk reward. Because I told you guys I was puppy trading. I was just trading left and right and trying to scalp things. But it's like I want to take on the same size, if not more size, but also wait for that move and stop trying to get like 50-cent moves and things like that. So, but it's been a profitable day today. Thankfully, I've needed it. But, just kind of practicing how you have an uptrend here. You have higher highs here continuously. Higher high, higher high, higher high. We break the previous here. Now you've got a higher high here. Would not be surprised. Now, look, you had resistance around this 283 area, right? So this is where resistance has kind of been. Let me go ahead and draw a range here. Around here is where you had resistance. Now that we've popped above, I would not be surprised if Tesla wants to go ahead and test this 383, because it broke the resistance. But let's see if it can act as support, and then maybe you get a back move towards the 285 and then a pop above. So that's something to keep an eye on. We'll see if I'm right later on. Just continuously look left and know that support turns into resistance. Resistance turns into support. And that's kind of something you want to keep an eye on. And look, here we are. Popped above that level. This is a 1 minute candle, so it's nothing to call grandma about, but you can see it tested it. It's holding now. And I would not be surprised if we go ahead and again, consolidate around here for a little bit before the next move up. Or if it can break down, you can see a retest of 366 to the downside. What's up, buddy?
What's up, man? I'm back.
How was it?
Gave some blood to the vampires out there, and I'm back. Let's do this.
Man, speaking of which, I need to go ahead and get my physical done, bro, because I know I'm iron deficient.
Yeah, you know how it is. I haven't done one in a while, but it seems like two things that I tried to point out on pre-market prep that could be signs for the bear market rally happened today. So the two things that I said, two signs to watch for: a turnaround in the 2-year yield. So that'd be watching the bonds. Another way that you can do this, guys, is you can just watch the TLT, right? I mean, this is going to help you out. Take a look into the bonds and look how this is taking off on the daily chart. Look at that. That is right there a bullish sign, right? And so that's what you wanted to see kind of turn around. And a lot of this is coming off of what? What happened? Well, I don't know if you guys spoke a lot about this, but it's a lot on the Bank of England making that move, right? Panicking. And that's going to drive the markets upwards. But the question is, how long will that last? Because essentially, this is them panicking. In the long run, I think that they're going to actually get hurt by this move that they're doing, because they're going to have to put in so much. They're going to have to make those printers go so to the point that they're going to completely destroy. If you think inflation is bad in UK right now, give it a year or two. See what happens after you do a move like this. This is definitely a panic button hit here by the Bank of England. They're purchasing long-dated UK government bonds to try to stabilize a currency that's just falling fast. And that's the last resort that the bank can do. Like literally, that's like the last resort. They're just like, all right, we need to step in here because it's going to create financial instability. And so they're going to come in here at all costs and try to fix this around. That's causing us to turn around on the yields. And also, what did you see turn around today? Well, if you take a look at the DXY, the dollar index, there you see it. Now it's down about 40 cents on the day. It's towards 113. And where did you turn around from? Right around 805. All right. And so you take a look here into the market, right? Where did we finally start turning around? Right around 8 a.m. Boom, we started going upwards in the market. So pay attention to those relationships with the dollar and the bonds right now. That's going to help you determine when you're going to get these swings around, right? Another thing that I've been watching for a while now is my RSI indicator, and we got really close towards the bounce. So this is kind of just a normal bounce. Now, is this the bottom? Honestly, if you're trying to call this the bottom, I think you're smoking one. But that's just because at the end of the day, there's too many times where people have tried to call the bottom on this market. And if you just keep playing that game, eventually you get blown up. So what you want to be doing now more is, how do I play this in maybe a day trade? How do I play this in a swing trading mentality? And how do I invest here? There's 3 different time frames, right? It's completely different ways to approach this. Now, if you're an investor, okay, maybe you're thinking, all right, we're low enough and I've seen the market come down enough where I want to start dipping my toes. Dipping my toes means, let's say if you wanted to open a position, maybe you're going in with 10% of that position or 20% of your percent of that position. So that you're just going into the market, right? You're just trying to get in just in case this could be the turn. Swing traders, what are we thinking here? All right, well, maybe we got a day 1 move. Can we get a day 2 move? That's probably what like Zunaid's probably thinking about also, maybe in like a Tesla, right? He's been looking at that kind of 300 outlook. What's to make us think that maybe Tesla turns around, gets into the green today overall, gets back to that pre-market high and kind of yesterday's high. And then you're on your way where? You're right back up towards 290s. Maybe you get a move towards that 300 outlook, right? So that's how swing traders will maybe be approaching it. How will day traders approach this? Well, day traders are probably going to be, as long as the dollar can keep coming down today, and as long as that 2-year yields can keep coming down, they're going to go ahead and watch that and maybe be able to hold on to some trades. But it was a really good day, of course, to trade where? To the bullish side today. And so sometimes that's what we need to be worrying about more along. When are we going to get those days where we can trend? Today was clearly it. I mean, look at my sectors. Look at the volume buzz. Look at the change from the open. Nothing in the red from the open. The weakest one is a utilities bounce. And why is it the weakest one? It's just because these stocks don't move as much. It's not because they're not in the green. And so that just shows us how of an overall kind of push up we just got. This is what they call bear market rally. Like this is exactly what it is. It's squeezed back up, especially after a persistent downward action. I mean, this would have been the 7th straight day down. We're not going to get that, at least from what it seems like now, after 6 straight days down, right? One area that I thought that I pointed to that I did see Jay was nailing it too, that BTU. Look at that move, 11.2%. We were calling this out yesterday. Keep your eyes on coal. It was a really nice move. Really nice VWAP bounce there. You could have got the VWAP around 22.68. It went to 22.44. Got back all the way up there towards 24 or 25. What a big move there. BTU today. So coal having a monster move. Consumer cyclical also bouncing back. That gambling play, DKNG bouncing back a little bit today. Energy is the surprising one, as you're seeing, you know, Oxy, XOM really find some support here. Let's see if it actually can make up some of this shadow zone that you have on XOM. There's a little bit of a gap zone right above it towards, let's say, 90.45. Let's see if we can actually get above kind of this 88s and get towards those 90s. And then another area that you can definitely watch for is technology. But we'll see what happens in the market. Like always, I say continue to watch some of the kind of the factors that I gave you. And that's probably going to do it for at least our coverage for today. I just wanted to at least bring in those tidbits at the end there. And we'll catch up with the chat right quick. And then we'll get you guys over to Benzinga Live coming out right up next.
Well, that was awesome, dude. I appreciate the insight there because, again, I was telling the chat earlier, anything else outside the stock market, I have no expertise in whatsoever. The yield, the dollar, this, that, the other, dude, it is, you know what I mean? I have no clue.
Yeah, that's what you want to be watching now. And a lot of that was the reason why, because the other currencies were dropping fast. And when the other currencies drop fast, like let's say if you're in the British position, right? So everything that we buy a lot of the times in the international markets are in what? They're in dollars, right? And so if your currency is going down fast and the dollar is going up fast, what does that cost? Well, that means you're throwing out more money because everything is just getting more expensive. And especially if your currency is going down, then even more expensive. Now you're just trying to keep up. Well, Bank of England stepped in today and said, no mas, no mas. All right, we'll get you on over to Benzinga Live. I saw you knocked out another interview. So like always, we're going to keep doing and trying to bring you some different aspects. And like always, guys, if you guys have a company or something that you want to hear more of, reach out to us. As you guys are seeing Zunaid knock out more interviews, he's more than willing to take on any company. But you guys got to let us know what you guys want to hear from.
Absolutely. We do it for you guys. Appreciate you coming back, Mitch. And we will see you guys next time. The chat, I told you guys this, but I'm going to take a week off just to get my mental right. It's been a bad September for me, but I know Mitch and Ryan are going to continue the show. So I'll see you guys in a bit. You guys have a good time.
All right. Send you guys over to Benzinga Live. Go check out AB. We'll see what he got for us today.